That's funny.
Hi, everybody. We are starting the stream. Technically the stream started a while back, but now we're starting the roleplay. Okay, anyway, welcome everybody to Esthara Chronicles. I am your dungeon master, or game master, Sylfania. We've got Thanture, or Mads, who's playing Bax. We've got Danny, who's playing Sylfania. And we've got Gabe, who's playing Ferverand. Hello. Anyway, few announcements before we start. Quick mention to, if you want to watch the previous VODs, watch them either on Twitch or on YouTube, link in the description. We also have a magic item submission form. If you are keen and creative and think these 3 little rapscallions would benefit from a cool magic item, send it in and I'll take a look and maybe I'll include it. If troll items are welcome. I do need a little bit of laughter in my life. It is quite miserable here. Anyway,
That's just the life of living in England.
Indeed. Okay. So, what other announcements? All the music that's been used in this stream is by groups that are available on YouTube and Spotify. The links are also in the description and in the break. And I think these are all the announcements and we can start doing the recap. I believe.
Are you sure about that?
You sure about that?
Pretty sure. Pretty solidly sure.
I don't
Most likely.
know.
I will tell you.
Do-over.
I will tell you. This is the point of this.
Take 2, everyone. Take 2.
Take 2. Anyway. In the previous episode, this merry band of adventurers has gotten into the city of Lodenborough, stayed at an inn, and ended up having to fight an animated table. Later, they found out that said table and other animated objects haunt this tavern for years to come, and the poor tavern owner has been struggling with an unknown magical occurrence, and apparently nobody can help. In a city full of guards and priests and all of those people, they seem to just ignore this poor lady. The 3 of you took it upon yourselves to start an investigation. Literally the moment one of you woke up from an almost death, which, I mean, Eris appreciates. You guys have gone through the inn, looking at every nook and cranny. Bax was doing something weird with his eyes. I don't know. Nobody noticed. It was,
Just give me weird winks. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not into.
I'm sorry, man.
Extremely unnoticeable. Weird wings.
No unnoticeable except for everybody he blinds with his eyes when he looks directly at them.
That was sarcasm.
Even noticeable, except everybody noticed it. Yeah.
Indeed.
Dude, you're like Pink Panther level stealth artist.
And you guys ended up searching through the whole place. Ended up in the kitchen where you met a half-orc cook by the name of Chef Montague and his assistant, Little Michael. You guys have looked through the kitchen, through the cellar, and finally Bax's ping magic radar has found something behind the stove, and you have obtained sort of a hex bag, which Ferverand proceeded to immediately break upon leaving the inn. You guys have looked into said hex bag, found a few items that might be clues as to who made it or who put it there, might not be, might be just random junk that's made to curse Eris. But we ended last session. We ended last session on the fact that you guys have opened the door quickly, said, "Lady, you are free of said curse," with Eris saying, "What?" as you closed the door and decided to head to Light's Rest, which is the religious district. And I believe this is still your goal, to head to Light's Rest. Because, yeah. So you're heading to Light's Rest. That's what's happening right now.
Yeah, we're going to Light's Rest. I was going to talk to them about the hex bag and also to introduce these lovely people to them.
As I believe you have promised Sylfania a tour, and Ferverand as well, of the local amenities, you being a local boy. Now, quickly, No, never mind. I had a thought and it escaped me. Yay! DM that knows what they're doing. Perfect. Literally, I had a proper thought and it just disappeared.
Literally, I just be talking and I just forget.
Exactly. That is my brain. My brain right now is having a little bit of a seizure. Okay. Ooh, that's not good. That is not good.
Okay.
Right, you guys are on your way to Light's Rest. You're still going through the district. Feel free to chat while I look something up. I'm totally prepared. This is just it's just something.
Yeah.
Chatter, let's go.
Well, like,
Tell me, Bax, where is your favorite bakery in this fine settlement?
Favorite bakery of all
Do
the
you not-
questions.
Do you not partake in baked goods?
I mean, I like an
Sure, I do.
occasional,
It's just
like a little strudel every now and then.
it's a surprising topic considering we are moving away after that hex bag.
Reminded me of a fun Sunday breakfast. So, I mean, why not indulge?
Well, I do know where there is a lovely establishment. Game Master.
Sorry. There's something went on with the sound on my end, and you guys disappeared. You guys are heading to a pub.
Bakery.
Is that-
No. He was just asking me about a bakery, and of course I would know. My character would know, but I do not.
But do you?
You would know.
Yes. This is the part where you pull shit out of your ass,
Yes.
and the DM just says, "Yeah, sure, whatever."
Sure. I'm sorry. I'm currently dealing with some technical issues, as always. Fucking, it's
What's
always
this?
happening.
There's a bakery down the street on the West End named Baker Bob's Bakery. Wow.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, there's a
Jesus
few
Christ.
good ones. There's one down the street there, and there's another one 2 streets down east here that has like a big bread outside with a sign.
Do you
That
think
one's
this
probably better.
place Baker's Alley, considering how many bakeries there are on this one
you-
street?
What are the
No.
average
There's only one
price
big
rate?
street and 2 streets away. That's what I said.
Oh, interesting. And which one is your favorite?
The one 2 streets away has like a lovely bakery
What?
sign
What's the
outside,
name of it?
and it has like very delicious. What's the
Yeah,
name
Matt,
of
what
it?
is the name
Yeah.
of it?
What's
What's the
name
name
of
of the
it?
bakery? Tell me.
Give me the. Tell me the name. Tell me.
God damn it!
Who's the baker? What's his name? What does he do?
Baker's Delight. I don't know.
Can you guys?
Muffin Man?
Where's the muffin man?
Where's the Muffin Man? I don't know.
Baker's
No.
Delight. Okay.
Didn't know I was interrogated. By fucking
Baker's
Batman over
Delight
here.
is the name of the bakery. Sorry guys, can you hear the music? Because I had a problem with the music
Yeah.
bot again.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Okay, fab. Okay. Well, I'll just do this. You go into a bakery. Each one of you gets. Okay, quickly yell out a name of a pastry. Bax.
Name it.
Pastry now.
Name it.
Call one.
Croissant.
Croissant. Soldado. What do you get?
I'm literally thinking croissant.
Croissant.
You get a croissant too. Okay, Ferverand. What do you get?
Cinnamon eye, baby.
Perfect. Okay, you get these pastries from a bakery. There isn't a queue. You guys came in just as a group of tourists was walking away with their order, so there's a free real estate. And immediately you head to Light's Rest, hence the music, because I'm not playing with that damn bot anymore.
Let's rest and rest these nuts.
Oh boy.
God, bring the beast nuts. Let's go.
Yeah.
Cool, fabulous. You guys have now headed into Light's Rest, which surprisingly, from the hustle and bustle of the Southgate district, it's right next to Southgate district. So you go to Light's Rest through Southgate, and immediately the sound changes. There's an atmosphere of calm, of relaxation. Of you hear muffled singing of various men and women in these fancy buildings. The streets are much wider. There's less people here. You know, it's sort of a reverent attitude. Now, am I hearing an echo? Is there an echo going
You're
on?
kind of echoey a little bit.
It's going through Matt's.
I think
Yeah,
it's going
Mads.
through that.
No, it literally is going through Matt's. I checked.
Oh, Yeah, it's gone now. Cool. Sorry, it's just I heard a little bit of my voice up in there, and I thought it's not that noticeable, but it's fine. It's fine. We're gone. Anyway, I was about to change something. Yes, so as you head into this district, I have an image for this. So, yes, to give you a visual representation of what you're looking at is this place. So, you can see the giant cathedral in the background. It's closer now as you're heading closer to the center of the city and the center of the hill. You hear bells, you hear chanting, and there's very few people here. Mostly clergy dressed in white and gold robes, heading in pairs or in groups. They're all of all walks of life, all different ages. There's no kind of discrimination between who can join the clergy and who cannot. It is welcome to everyone. But this is where you would know Bax clergy lives. This is where you would find shops selling holy items, icons, candles, scriptures, and this is where a lot of the seminary schools are, where young acolytes are taught in the religion of the lady. And later on, they all head from here into the central cathedral for the mass. Now, one more thing. Saldana, you as a pilgrim, you know what the pilgrimage entails. And I shall tell you in a little bit more detail what you're kind of supposed to do. You know the general gist of it. You're going to make it in 1 year. You have to go through the route, the repentance trail. But apart from that, you have to do something in every city you come upon in this repentance trail. You have to spend 2 days in the city. And there's a set of tasks which are kind of relaxed, but you sort of do them. So, like, you kind of have to do these tasks, but they're not extremely specific tasks, right?
Drop the communal toilet.
So, basically, what you're, as you go into a city and you finish your tasks, your amulet that you carry with you, the wooden amulet on a string that shows that you're a pilgrim, as you go to every city, you get another little ring added to the necklace. Like, you know when you go to a festival and you're trying to get lots of stickers? Kind of sort of like this from booths. Yeah, it's not mandatory, as I said, as long as you make the pilgrimage, even with just one of these through the year. People will look at you as you're lazy, but they won't really tell you haven't done it. But the idea is the more cities you go through, the more tokens you collect, the better it is. But anyway, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to collect free incense from a local shop worth about 2 days of burning incense at the temple. You're supposed to attend custom midday mass every day. Usually there is a mass every end of the week during the midday where it's mandatory to attend. You have to go. There's no infirmity, no illness. You go. They carry you in a stretcher, and then the infirmity goes away, because this is the day
end of the week.
Yes, this is the day of the blessing. So you're supposed to go, but this is common in the whole empire. This is what everybody does. It's like going to church on Sunday, but this is like in Saudi Arabia where you're supposed to go to mosque to pray. There's no way you can get out of it. This is kind of it. So the same zealotry, but only once a week. And there's an added bonus to it that if you can't go due to illness, if you go, your illness will be lightly alleviated, because this is the day when the blessing comes from the goddess down upon the citizens of Lodenborough. And it is accessible through the building of the church. Like, you're supposed to go into the Grand Cathedral, and that is where you get the blessing. Now, if I look at the calendar, to tell you the exact name of the last day of the week, in this world, in Esthara, as I said before, there's 6 months, and the week has 9 days instead of 7. So the months are quite bigger than usual. So they're not 31 days, they're 37 days.
Yeah, I remember.
And the weekend is called Неделя. So basically every Неделя at midday, you go to the Grand Cathedral and you pray. But as a pilgrim, you get a custom mass, sort of customized upon whenever you arrive into a city, because not everybody can time their arrivals exactly on the day of the main mass. And this is sort of what you have to attend for 2 days. And it is done for all pilgrims in the city who have arrived and who wish to attend it. And it is not usually done by the archbishop. It is done by sort of clergy of a lower order to mostly just help you out, bless you, and help you on your pilgrimage in a way. Now, there's other things you're supposed to do apart from just putting up some candles and going to the custom mass. You're supposed to assist the church with odd jobs for 3 hours every day. So not a whole day, just 3 hours.
Just 3 hours.
Just 3 hours. But things like sweeping and cleaning, maybe if you've got good handwriting, copying scripture, candle making, it's a very big business for the church. Polishing all the gilded things you see. Yeah, it's basically your free labor.
Like
aren't people typically like only in the town for like a
2
day
days.
or like 3 days?
Yep, 2 days. So you're supposed to just spend 3 hours of these 2 days doing these odd jobs.
Okay.
They're not really work intensive, and for scriptures they usually would give you a page to copy. Something you can do within 6 hours in total. And usually a lot of cleaning, polishing, all of that is done. And then the rest of yeah.
Is there like a specific time I'm supposed to go in?
No,
or is it
you
just
can
whenever?
You can go in whenever, and you don't have to do 3 hours in a row. You can do an hour and then come back later. It's up to you, really.
But is there a time of day where like it closes or something?
No, the church is open at all times. You can come at night if you like. The church is always open, always welcome. There's always shifts of clergy who are available. And obviously pilgrims arrive at any point in time, and some pilgrims they don't have money to stay in an inn, and so they stay at the church. They stay with the priests. Of course, it's very ascetic living. So the priests do stay in Light's Rest, which is surprisingly a rich district. So as you go into Light's Rest, the buildings look much more fancy. Because these are clergy's permanent homes. But the Grand Cathedral has a, clergy on duty area where some extremely poor pilgrims might take refuge.
All right.
Yeah, and then at the end of all of this, basically at the end of all these tasks, you get a little wooden signet onto your onto your thing. That's why a lot of people, if you come back with quite a lot of signets, you don't have to, as I said, you don't have to do it in every city. It's recommended, and that is the point of a repentance path, that if you, by doing this in every city, and by getting to your end point within the time limit, it is a challenge, and you've done it. Of course, some people do that and they can't afford to, or don't have time, or the trip has taken them slightly longer due to weather. So they can't really do this and reach it within a year. It is absolutely okay to skip a town or two, or half. It's up to you. But the more you do, the more rep you gain, and the more respectability as a pilgrim you would take. And obviously, as you collect them, and as you go further down the road, the churches are way more... They're sort of hospitable to everyone, but they're way more friendly to you, seeing as you made your point to help out along the way as much as you could.
Something tells me that priests in fantasy are lining their pockets as much as priests in real life.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Did the music stop again?
Oh yeah, it died.
It just fucking died.
I swear, I'm just so... This is everything else is fine. This is the one thing that is really grinding my gears. It's... Seriously.
Really muscles the jimmies.
Anyway.
I can't... Oh my god. I'm sorry, everybody. It's just... The music is the hardest part to sort out. I mean, at this point, I'm thinking of just putting Spotify instead of this. Like, this is ridiculous. But let's carry on, shall we? Whatever, it's fine. I'm just trying to be atmospheric, okay? So you guys head in, and both Sildana and Bax would know this, because this city is on the repentance path, and you've seen many pilgrims asking for directions. You know the sort of the three main tasks that a pilgrim is supposed to do. Ferverand, you are aware, but not the detail. You have, it's... You know you're supposed to do something. You just don't know exactly what.
I give a gentleman's bow, a kiss of the statue's toes, give him a little nibble, and then be on my way.
So you're just walking down Light's Rest. in random clergy's houses, passing by people who are, watering flowers, just a random residential area. You find a random statue, come up, do a bow, kiss its toes, and go on your way. You get a few strange looks, but people just let you do it.
Anybody who looks at me strangely, I just go, "What? You aren't religious? Are you a heretic?"
Loser.
Haven't you heard about the ritual of kissing feet? I don't know, man. I don't know.
The lady's toes every now and then.
Is this how you do it in the boonies? I'm from the capital. I know proper worship.
True, man. At the capital, when the goddess comes out, it's costumed to suck the toes.
You gotta go for them little piggies,
No. The little tootsies. Just all these little tootsies.
Yeah. I could imagine that they didn't look at me just because I kissed the toes and gave a little nibble. They looked because they heard.
I just see Natalie just dying right now.
Okay.
Just your soul is just dead right now.
What are you... Okay. You've done that. That has happened.
Yes.
You've traumatized...
Nice.
You've traumatized the locals.
No, I've taught them the capital's way of worship.
Indeed.
Fucking heathens.
You know what? Give me a persuasion check. Give me a persuasion roll. Screw it.
Just
Let's do it.
just for the fuck of it.
I mean, in all fairness,
Why not?
She did say for 3 hours, so you better get on your knees and kiss the toes for 3 hours.
Look, okay, listen. Bowing before the statue, rubbing the foot a bit, giving a little kiss, that's like 3 seconds. The rest of the 3 hours, that's the toe sucking.
3 hours?
What did you roll for your persuasion for this?
18.
Oh, Christ. Okay.
Well,
whoever that is in this world. Yeah. You
never sucked toes before?
You are so confident that the sort of young woman who was watering her flowers, minding her own business when you started sucking toes right next to her.
You had to say that out loud today.
I have you guys are in a mood. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to say a lot of things out loud today that I shall regret, but oh well. Hashtag no regrets. Anyway, you
Started a new tradition, baby.
you have this poor woman thought she just started she just became an acolyte. She's new to this. She's currently part-timing at the bishop's house who lives here. And she was watering the flowers and she sees this and she thinks, "Oh God, Danny, did you just yawn?"
No, I'm laughing so hard. I'm trying to contain it. I'm sorry.
No, it's just oh gosh.
I know I look so weird. I'm sorry.
I'm echoing again. What is happening? Anyway.
It's Matt's fault.
Okay.
Anyway, it's just slightly distracting because my voice is very grating. On that note, you start convincing this woman of the new way of worshipping the lady, and
It's not new. It's the traditional capital way.
Indeed, she's new to this, so she believes you, and there's going to be some questions for her in the future. But
this is the core faith.
she nods and bows to you and goes, "Go with the lady." Yes.
Namaste.
I'm just wondering if you've started a new tradition.
So, Saldana, as a pilgrim, do you start to ask questions of what to do, or do you just want to wander around the district? I mean, you're free. There is no timeline on any of this.
Did I see what he did?
I did it for 3 fucking hours.
No,
you did.
3 hours. Bro,
You didn't.
Are you serious?
No.
You did not. No, you did not.
I veto this. You didn't do that for 3 hours.
That's fine.
That did not happen.
I'm just following tradition. I mean, come on.
You of course have been walking right next to each other, chatting, eating your baked goods, and you have seen this.
Yeah. I know this person already, and I know he did that for the fuck of it. I'm just.
You're welcome.
I'm just honestly kind of just ignoring it at this point.
Cool. Yeah, the place is very quiet, very atmospheric. The weather's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
It is getting a bit dark. It's not too late yet. It's getting evening word because it's the same day you've arrived, mind you. So.
is there any clergy in nearby that I can see? I can talk to?
Sure. There's this very beautiful, dark-skinned, sort of olive tint skin halfling with these beautiful curly hair tied up with a lovely headband and a lot of gold jewelry going around in the standard vestments of the church of the lady. And I will picture. No, wrong one. Picture. I'm spoiling y'all with all these pictures, man. And she has got these beautiful amber eyes, and she's strolling along with a sort of fun mood, and she's carrying she's beautiful, but also she has this attitude of approachability. She's not very haughty. Mm-hmm. And as she was walking around, she's carrying a bunch of scrolls, and she appears to be not being able to see from across the scrolls because they're slightly higher than she is, and she appears to trip and about to drop onto the ground, like cartoon level slip smash, right in front of you.
Oh god! Okay, yeah.
Do we hear a tiny whoop?
Yeah, you hear whoop, 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 whoop. And the scrolls go everywhere. She trips and goes, "Oh dear, that's not good." And she starts picking them up and
Just not the voice I expected. I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly. She looks one way and then different, just completely different person on the inside.
Okay.
Tiny, it's a midget. What do you expect?
But it's the face. Is what I'm going by.
Nah, man. All halflings are midgets. Don't do it.
Anyway.
Hot damn.
Anyway, that aside,
I see her fall down. Of course, I stop what I'm doing and I go to try and help her.
Sure, she's piling the scrolls back up onto her lap, and then she sees you and goes, "Oh, thank you, dear pilgrim. Oh, I think one of them fell off. Oh, how did it get there?" And you look at it, and one of the scrolls ended up floating up and falling onto the porch, but on the top of the porch, this little, I don't know what it's called, a little dome above a porch that you could hide in under the rain, but it's not the house proper yet. So it floated above there, and she sort of looks up and goes, "How did that get there? Any of you tall enough to go get it? I can't reach. I don't have a ladder."
Yeah, hold on. I should be able to.
"Oh, thank you. I need to get these up to the cathedral real stat. Otherwise, I'm gonna get a chewing. So.
All right.
So it's a little bit too high for you to reach with your hand. You might need to hop up to it.
I'd probably just grab my bow out or something. Try to wiggle it with.
So you're trying to use your bow as a scrape.
Trying to scrape it.
Yeah,
trying to reach.
It wasn't that high. You managed to reach it down, and as it falls over, she catches it and goes, "Thank you so much." And she looks at your sign and your slightly lost face and goes, "Is there any way I can help you, pilgrim?"
Yes. I'm here to do any sort of tasks, sort of work I may be required.
Right. And you're not really sure where to find everything. Is that it?
I'm just came here today.
Of course. Well, it is absolutely natural. Don't worry about a thing. So, there is, first of all, you need to get your incense, right? You need to get your 2 days worth of incense to be able to burn in the vigil at the church. You don't have to pay for it. It's free. You just have to go pick it up and bring it over, and it's a large thing going on. There's a shop, I believe, a little bit way down the road. Let me think. Hold on. And she looks at the other two, either Bax or Ferverand, and looks at you. Which one of you has a... She's looking for somebody who's more amenable to be friendly. She gives one look at Ferverand with his mask and whatever, and turns on to Bax and goes, "Sweetie, would you mind holding this real quick?"
Oh yes, no worries.
Oh, thank
It'll be
you.
my pleasure.
Okay. Whew. They're real heavy. Right. Let me think about this. So, yeah, man.
You almost died today.
Nah, I mean, I fall over all the time. I'm extremely
I
clumsy.
was talking to you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And she sort of
No.
blushes and like rubs her head a bit and fixes her robes. She's obviously is a chatterbox, and she's holding herself back. And once you called her out, it's not the first time the poor girl's been called out, so she's very shy about it.
Don't worry, little lady.
No,
We
you're
all
fine.
die at some point.
She nods at you and goes,
How very astute. That is very true. It is how we live is what matters.
Just goes, yo, that's deep.
"For
They're like, yeah.
yes." I could have just said, "Yo, that's deep," but
Yo, brother, that's so deep. Never heard such delightful and, truth and philosophical words in my life, man.
Yeah.
so she looks at you, Soldata, and points over down the road and says,
If you head all the way closer to the cathedral, so just well, it's up technically because you're going up a hill. So up this alley and then turn left. There is a place called the Virtuous Pillar, and in there you can find holy scripture, incenses, anything else you need for your religious needs. Obviously, the incense is free, but if you wish to purchase anything else as a part of your presence in the holy city, feel free to go ahead and do so. Afterwards, you just have to head up where all the clergy and the pilgrims are going up to the cathedral and do your thing. I'm sure I'm heading that way, so I can come with you if you want. A little detour will be
Oh.
fine.
That'd be lovely then.
You two gentlemen, is there anything else? Are you accompanying this pilgrim on her journey?
He's,
I'm simply touring, thank you.
well,
Oh,
this man,
indeed.
as I turn the backs, I'd be like, well, he was sort of just guiding me here. Said he would introduce me to some of the clergy.
That is
It's
a
the beauty
wonderful
of-
thing.
It is the duty of any citizen of Ludenberg.
Of course,
to help any
indeed.
pilgrims.
Indeed. You're
Speaking
such
of your duties, is there any particular place you would like our friend Baxia to put down your scrolls?
Oh, not really. I was just bringing them over for, these are not the originals. These are the copies of the originals. And basically, these are for the pilgrims to, reproduce if they wish. I mean, if we're going to the same place, they were just going to be put onto a table, and pilgrims will just select one to copy the scripture they like best, the song of the lady that they prefer, as there is. I mean, you don't have to carry all of them. I can take some. It is my job.
No, don't worry about it. He's a hearty young man, and I'll give you a pat on the back.
Let's look at these
Right where the
strong
wound
young
is.
men.
Right where
Indeed.
the wound is.
Indeed.
So, I'm sorry. You guys head over to the Virtuous Pillar, and she's chatting on the way, explaining about the history of the architecture and how the city was designed and how it is one of the most unique places. She's basically a tour guide selling this town to you with a very enthusiastic chitter-chatter. She got over the fact that she thought she was being annoying, and now she's all her bubbly and wonderful self. It is still a bit of a juxtaposition because she looks like such a refined, beautiful lady, but her reaction, her face comes alive when she's talking. And she's pretty adorable. If I do say so myself. I like
Keep one for all home.
I like a Agapamoa. It's adorable. Anyway,
Can I take it home with me?
See this grown
down
ass
there,
woman's
cowboy.
face, and then I'm just like
Come on.
reminded, wait, she's a halfling.
yes, she's a grown-ass woman. She's just extremely
No.
bubbly and has a very high-pitched voice. Extremely deep. On that note, through observing this interesting halfling and conversing about the history of Laudenborough, most of it is what I told you as exposition. She's telling you what pilgrims usually choose to do, and that copying scriptures is much preferred to, for example, polishing, because the whole Grand Cathedral, as you will see later, is covered in golden fixtures, which is a lot of polishing. So people tend to not like to do that job. They tend to prefer the copying the scriptures or sweeping. The two jobs that are overzealously done by the pilgrims. So the rest of the jobs have to be done by the clergy. You near
Right.
the pillar, if I can find the picture. Yes. And this is what it looks like. It is an open shop with no door, sort of like a beautiful carved monument built into a nearby wall heading up. Like, you notice as you're heading closer to the Grand Cathedral, the streets are getting more and more steep. And a lot of the buildings are built into a wall or into a structure that could hold the height of said building on top of a hill. So the architecture changes slightly from the sprawling south gate into more of a vertical central you're basically right in the center of the city. You head over to the Virtuous Pillar, and there is a quiet, sort of at peace looking Earth Genasi man, sort of standing there glowing a little bit with, like, his skin is made of this iridescent material, and it shifts a little bit as he breathes up and down. There's no sound or creaking coming off of him, but he's got an interesting shade to his skin going on. And he is just standing there, and there's incense wafting around him. He seems to be meditating of some sort. There are a few pilgrims milling around in reverent quiet, picking up the incense, nodding, and him, with his closed eyes, nodding back at them and then walking off. And this girl, or this woman, turns to you and says, "Oh, gosh, I completely forgot to introduce myself. I've been chatting about the city for so long. I always do this. I'm Breben Brockhouse. Pleasure to meet you. I'm just a simple acolyte, so I'm new here. I wouldn't know that much, but if I could help in any way, I'd be excited to do so."
Oh, Raven Brockhouse. That's a lovely name.
Yeah.
It was no problem at all, you showing me around.
Of course, my parents loved alliteration. Anyway, you need to go to this shop over here and... hello, Jimmy!
And the Earth Genasi just nods with his closed eyes, like,
He doesn't talk much, but he's a really chill dude. We go to the pub once in a while. He just sits there in front of a full glass. Huh. Anyway, I'll carry these back up to the cathedral, and I'll see you guys there. Maybe if you want to purchase something else in there. I'm contractually obliged to tell you to do that, so...
Bye, guys! And she hops over in between the clergy going up to the Grand Cathedral, which you can see the spires from here just a little bit. You've seen it from a distance. You can see the cathedral from almost any point inside the city. But as you're getting closer and closer to it, you can feel the shadow of it, and you can see like a spire or two, but you don't really see the whole picture just yet.
Okay.
Neat.
Well, alrighty then. Well, should we get your materials then? What do you require?
Yes. I would require to get my incense. And the mark for my list. Okay.
Alright, well, let's walk over there then. Talk to good old Jimmy.
Good old Jimmy.
Good old Jimmy.
As you...
Swear to God, we're smoking again.
As you head into this it's more of a booth than a shop, really. As you head into this open booth, you can see there's a big sign saying "Pilgrim Incense here," and there's a giant vat full of these thin candles. So they're not like regular candles that you're used to light your house or like the area you live in. They're more of a thin, you know, those candles that melt really easily and they're very bendy. I don't know if you've seen like tallow church ones. They're made with incense.
You playing with there, Nat?
Jimmy.
You're doing something weird.
Have none of you ever been to church? Anyway, there's actual church candles that get sold that like they're made with both tallow and incense together, and that makes them really, really soft. So there's a bunch of them, and you assume that this is the incense they're talking about. You've done this once or twice before, but every town has slightly different, like every city you've passed through had slightly different rules for you to do your thing that you need to do as a pilgrim. In the previous ones, you didn't have to pick up incense; you just had to do the odd jobs, and then it's slightly different in every city. The Jimmy seems to be absolutely ignoring the fact that just you're not there for him. He's checked out.
Jimmy!
This is on it, yeah. I just turn up to him and I'd say, hello, sir. Heard your name is Jimmy?
Jimmy, are you there? Hello?
I believe he's taken a vow of silence. Either that, or he really doesn't care for your voice.
Well, feel free to see if your beautiful and stunning voice will awaken him.
Well, I might not get him to talk, but I could get him to scream.
Or an annoy.
What kind of scream are we talking about? No, actually, no, I'm not gonna.
That depends on how ticklish he is.
Oh dear, I can't even work with this. He's blind and deaf, and he can't talk.
You notice that this, well, proprietor or a guardian of this kind of free booth stands there, and you notice the shades of color going through his sort of amethyst-like skin. They sharpen just a little bit, and you think, Sildana, because you're pretty observant, you think you can see a twitch of his left eye, but he does not seem to outwardly show humor, mirth, or anything else. He is completely in Zen. He recognizes your presence, and he nods to answer you, and he might gesture here and there, but he has yet to open his eyes, nor has he made any sound.
This is kind of like just going up to like one of those like guards in like London who are like guarding the castle.
All I got from this
Just to try and,
information.
like, seeing like you can annoy them or
But
something.
thing is, they don't respond to you. He does, but he just chooses not to speak and not to look at you.
See, all I got from that information is that I almost cracked him.
I had to roll a wisdom check to see if he was gonna crack, and he didn't.
What was my insight again? Hang on. It's
pretty high, I remember.
I think it was pretty high,
yeah. Your perception's pretty high. Let me check. I can check.
Wow,
yeah,
you
your
got pretty
passive
high
insight
perception.
is really high, actually. It is extremely high, surprisingly. And the highest of all of you. Bax's character is completely just clueless. From looking at your stats, you're just whatever. So
I just see him as like a child, just trying like trusting anybody.
Why did you want to roll see your passive insight? Is it to glean something from his character or what?
I don't know, just like seeing like if he was getting annoyed or not, honestly.
Yeah, as I said, like you notice it's not really passive if you're trying to figure it out. It would be active insight to try to see.
Oh yeah.
Roll to see if you can get higher than 18.
Oh, okay.
Give me an insight check.
Normal. 21.
21. Okay,
I was
you
13 on the die.
you are 100% certain the dude was about to burst out laughing because of the dirty joke. But his fortitude and mental strength held him back. He wasn't pissed off. He was extremely amused, but he couldn't break character or whatever. So he just stood there like a little twitch, but not reacted. So, but you noticed. You were like, oh.
Hey, I try to quietly, without him noticing, just turn over to Ferverand and just be like, keep going. Kill snap.
I kind of lean a bit forward. Okay, so you're not the ticklish type, so I'm guessing it's whips and candle wax.
He does sell incense for a reason.
That's me. I can't hold it back, but I cannot have a straight face with laughing. Let's see if that cracks
you
it.
should try sucking his toes.
That was pretty weak because that was on the on the back of I can make him scream, but in a kind of way, you know. So I'm gonna give it a pretty low DC. Let's see if he beats it. As you say candle wax, there's a small child picking up a candle from the pilgrim bowl, and you notice his eyes crack a little bit to look at you. His eyes fall onto a child picking the thing, and then he goes, and you can hear that, because you're so close to him, you can hear that, like the sound of two rocks grating together, and then he immediately puts a hand to his mouth and turns his back to you and rushes into the back room. And the door closes.
Oh,
the
no.
child looks surprised, and then as the door closes, you hear, "Oh my god!" And everybody else is looking at you guys and going, "What?
We broke him, boys.
If
We
he didn't,
broke him.
if he just had like a small snort, I was gonna like lean into his ear and be like, "Don't worry, that's gonna be our dirty little secret."
But he rolled really low. He rolled a nat 1. On that wisdom check. The DC was 10. He did not roll high. And basically it's more he already had a dirty thought on his mind. So that comment paired with a mild observation. And now you start to Soldata, you now start to realize why the man tries to keep his eyes closed and mouth shut. He's extremely easily prone to tomfoolery, and man would crack from a knock joke. So you're like, oh, I see.
Yes, let me pull up the knock joke list right now.
I kind of like elbow Sildana back afterwards to say like, well, looks like he's gonna have to retake those vows.
It appears he may have to.
I mean, I know you guys are joking, but you guys know there is no such thing as vows of silence in the religion of the Holy Lady, actually.
No, we're really just making fun of it.
Yeah, no, again, context. For those of you unaware, the religion of the Holy Lady is based upon the midday mass, which is what you're going to attend today. And the idea of the midday mass is song. She's the Holy Lady of song. Thus, to worship her is to sing. So vow of silence is basically insulting the lady in a way. If you vow to never be merry or voice your appreciation or love of in a form of song or poetry or voice, as she is the Holy Lady of Song. So unlike standard Christian religion where a vow of silence is more of a vow of calm, you know that this has been done simply because the man would just be laughing constantly, so he's trying to hold himself together most of the time. He's made of strings, even though he is made of rock. It's a very loose rock, that.
Put a hole in the man who got a guitar.
He just like every time he's about to laugh, he just turns like this part of his face.
You just hear like this snickering sound, like.
As you guys have been just standing there, you picked up your incense and you're conversing. You can hear like quiet giggling from behind the door. It's getting higher and then lower, so he's trying to calm himself down. Doesn't seem to be able to.
Does it sound like fucking Pugsley?
Pugsley?
Yeah, from a fucking that old
Addams-
cartoon about
Addams
like
Family?
airplane guys trying to catch the like letter pigeon.
Oh yeah.
I think it's just called Catch That Pigeon or something.
Might be,
Okay, that is an extremely obscure reference. I have never seen that, nor have I heard of it.
That's because you're not cultured, Natalie. Come on.
I see. Well,
You don't.
tough. Well, anyway,
It's a
what do you do?
tough scenario here.
You are.
Well, is there anything else you guys wanted for me to guide you to, or anything of the similar? We still haven't talked to anyone about the hex bank, I believe, so. we could probably still
Yes.
do that.
Oh yeah, we need to show them that. Honestly, I quite honest, I nearly forgot about it.
Well, you did break
Well-
it.
Quite how shocked I was about that you just stepped on it.
It's in pieces.
Yes,
I mean,
but
it is a bag of bones.
perhaps, but we still brought the
Technically,
remains
so are
back,
you.
and also quite legitimate evidence that she is being targeted, specifically.
Well, If I'm not mistaken, you did kind of have her name in blood.
Well, that was on the paper, yes.
Hmm.
That seems damning enough to me.
Yeah, and that means that we probably ought to actually showcase to the security that this is an actual serious situation. Jesus, words.
I am completely serious, mind you. I was
Oh,
having
yes.
a fruitful discussion with a fellow member of the faith, and you are disrespecting that.
Oh, guys, let's just do this, please.
Oh, okay.
All we have to do is just show them and explain
Well,
the situation.
Let us go then.
As the Lady Vicious.
Is there a place inside here that I know specifically that I could go to with this sort of thing?
You know that the clergy hierarchy isn't very complicated. They're usually Brevin Brockhouse, who is the lady that you met previously, is an acolyte. Acolyte is your ordinary run-of-the-mill priest that anybody can become an acolyte. They don't have to go to a seminary. They don't have to study the scriptures. That's when everybody starts up. You don't have to give up your worldly possessions. You can be extremely rich and be an acolyte. It is more you spend your days helping out the church and the many businesses and the many functions that the church runs. It is a very big presence in the city, so they need a lot of staff, in a way. The second from that would be a bishop. Bishops can be both men and women as well. This is when they've been educated and had sat an exam. Usually they're the ones who have a lot of experience in song or psalms that they're singing. Not everybody can become a bishop. Not everybody wants to. I mean, if you're a bit tone deaf, that there's a bit of a selection going on there. They can't have a perfect choir and just the one person who can't sing. So the yes,
that one guy.
that one guy that's always there in a musical. That one guy that when you go see a West End musical and you're like, what is this one dude doing here? He's the understudy, isn't he? This is what this is.
He's having a good time, alright. He's having a good time. He's trying.
Let him do his thing. Come on.
Yeah, he's trying.
Let him do his thing.
Don't stop him now. He's having a good time.
Yeah. And basically, the rank above a bishop would be the archbishop. Now, only women are allowed to be archbishops, and there's usually only one in each city. It is kind of the religious leader of said city, or like the head priest. While all the other cities that you know of and you've been to have another secular leader as a person to deal with day-to-day financial and economical matters of the land and, deal with disputes and such that the church, unless the secular leader cannot deal with the issue, the church steps in. So usually there's an archbishop and whoever it is, a duke or a marquis or whoever is the head of this town. In Lodenbra and in Lesnagor, which is the capital city, there's a big difference because they do not have a secular leader. These cities are ruled by the archbishops or by Divine Miroslava herself. Now, the archbishop of the city is Archbishop Galatea. You see her every Sunday during Mass. She leads the clergy in song and helps bring down the blessing upon you all. So you have never talked to her per se, but you've seen her in person quite often. You were sitting a bit further back though. So you have your choice of people to go to. You don't necessarily, you've seen a few clergy around, but not necessarily know one. Like you're not chummy or friends with one in a way. But you would think that regular clergy, I mean, if you wanted to, you could pass this information on and hope they would bring it up to the higher rank, or you could go straight to a bishop. It's up to you what to do. This is the hierarchy of the church. The people who have any sway would be bishops and above.
Well, I suppose we could try asking around for a bishop or someone.
Come on, Matt. Start another holy war.
Or another holy war, bro.
Here we go, man. Here we go.
Praise the
It's
sun.
gotta start somehow. Anyway, we could alternatively, well, I'm not exactly chummy with any of them, but we could go perhaps talk to, well, the halfling we talked to before. Perhaps we could talk to her bishop, master, whatever.
Is she
She
still
was
here?
my princess, right?
Raven?
No, she ran away back to the cathedral.
Yeah, she ran away. Okay. Then
Well, we can go back, try to find her.
She went to the cathedral, which is where everybody else is heading.
Yes.
So then, best choice would be to go to cathedral.
Yes, regardless, yes, it probably would be. Anyway, we'll head to the cathedral and search for anyone who looks important enough to divulge this information.
As you head up to the cathedral, the buildings are you look down. It is a steep incline, and as you look down on your left, it is getting really dark. It is getting up to 6 p.m. It's not 6 yet. The sun is just setting, and the city is basked in this orangish red glow. You can see some of the lights start coming up in some of the districts, and you can almost see the whole city. It's beautiful up here. The houses become, fewer apart, and there's more parks and open green spaces. At the moment, there's not that many people up here, but mostly clergy. As you head up and up and up, you finally reach the enclosed area with another set of walls covering a wide and an open arch. There isn't a gate or anything. And an open arch leading into a square, I want to say. Is that what it's called? It's like, when it's an open, in a city, when it's an open space and it's green but there's no trees. It's a square,
It's called
right?
a square, yeah.
Yeah. A square, an opening, in the middle of which stands one of the most beautiful things you've seen. Not you, Ferverand. You've been to the capital city. But this is a close second. A close second in magnificence. The Grand Cathedral.
Okay.
It is...
I thought you were saying it wasn't me.
I thought you meant the person. I was like, you mean me?
No, I meant Ferverand. You've been to the capital city of Lesnagor, and this is like a medium-sized thing you'd see. But this is...
I'm still a pretty high contender, though.
Hands down, the biggest building in this city. And it has its own square, its own trees, and its own walls that even on this image you cannot see, so they're quite far off. It takes up the whole of the top of the hill. In the setting sun, the gilded tops reflect the light, and you get this feeling of holiness. I don't know how else to explain it. It's a holy place.
Feeling of warmth as your chocolate melts in the sun because of the reflected light. Damn you, church. When will I ever enjoy my chocolate?
That's like the most petty way of hating God. It's like,
damn you, church!
Chocolate. Oh my god.
I have $2 for this.
You know that meme of what is it? Just the fist, like what was it? It's an old meme.
I will never forgive
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something.
I'll scream into the top of my lungs if I have to.
So like,
do it.
Fervent. I just imagine. Why do I say reverend? I just see Fervent just burst into flames as he just walks up close. I bet.
No, he's fine.
Call me reverend because you revere these nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Not again.
How
with
do
these
you
nuts
know?
Jokes.
Actually, wouldn't I see backs like bursting into flames?
No.
No.
That's because dragons are immune to fire.
They're perfectly fine. Everybody's perfectly
just
fine.
To burst into flames by God, okay?
Mate, that is only if I enter a church. Not
True.
my character.
His character is fine. Do you guys
sure,
enter?
Like, every church in Denmark has like a restraining order against you.
It's actually funny. Last time I did go to church, I was like, man, if I enter that church, I'll go into fire. Like, I literally said it next to my friend. So I was like,
I'm the devil.
Yeah.
I was
The
like,
only time I'll go to church is to crash a funeral.
You have funerals in church?
No, but I'll crash it if there is one.
so bitches, you haven't.
Oh, guys, my cheeks hurt from laughing. Please stop. I'm gonna go.
No.
Stop. Okay.
You will
guys,
suffer.
you guys are going into the building.
Yes.
I
Are we walking into the building? Ow.
Yeah, we
Yes.
just T-pose.
Bonk.
And we T-poos on the monks.
Sure.
I choose the superior A pose.
The superior A.
The A pose. Okay, you A, T, or whatever else pose your
do
way
a
through the
YMCA
grand
on
doors.
YMCA into there.
Bro, we're gonna do a YMCA on.
You're YMCAing your way into the Grand Cathedral of Laudenborough. And the people give you strange looks, but as clergy, they do not appear to react visibly. They seem to want to, but they don't want to judge, but they do.
They cannot comprehend this form
power.
of worship.
Indeed. As you go in...
Because, the more obvious that we are, the more stealthy that we actually are, It's like...
A reverse psychology, that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, gonna stay away from those weirdos.
I'm beginning to wonder, like, how far I have to go to make them react. Like, if I take my dog for a walk and it shits on the floor and just don't pick it up, are they gonna, like, give me a stink eye?
No, everybody's giving you a stink eye. They're just not outright confronting you and going, when somebody's sensibilities are hurt, they're going like, oh, I'd never, none of that. But they do give you a drunk, yelling person on the London Underground look.
What the fuck is going on here?
Indeed.
Anyways,
I've been that person who gives that dirt look to a drunk underground dweller, being like, this is the underground, man. You cannot preach here. This is a godless underground place. Do not do this. Sorry, you were saying?
I was gonna say, like, do we see any of the clergy there?
Clergy, yeah, you see a lot of them. It is getting close to the evening, so a lot of the people went back to, start having dinner and such. But there are, of course, a few on duty. You see Brevin, you see her, and she looks at you and waves. You notice she's already put away her scrolls, and there's a big table with a few other pilgrims wearing different kinds of clothes, and they're having their necklaces, and they're all picking up scrolls to then go off to the tables in the back to copy the scriptures. Some people are lighting candles and putting them on this enormous altar full of candles. I don't know if have you guys seen The Witcher, this TV series?
Yeah.
Did you know when they went to that temple and they had a ton of candles? Those of you who haven't...
to the scene with Master Oogway from Kung Fu Panda. I can't refuse.
You dare bring Poe into this.
Yes! Much better.
You were doing a bit. And I'm just gonna shut it down because no. I refuse.
Why not?
Because I'm too tired for this.
Better.
Sure. Imagine how the most candles you've ever seen in your life. Be that in Game of Thrones, be that in House of Dragon, be that in whatever show you've seen. That.
Kung Fu Panda?
Might as well. Yes. Kung Fu Panda. The level of candleage is the same as in Kung Fu Panda. And there's people adding more candles to it. And you notice as they add, they would whisper a name of the person. Or they would whisper something and they would clap their hands together and bow and then carry on. And there are a few people sweeping, both clergy and not, and Brevin sort of hops up to you and goes,
"Oh, you've made it! You've got your incense, I see."
Yes, and probably should have mentioned it earlier, but we do have something to report to somebody.
Oh,
Possible.
okay.
It's
I could
somebody
call.
we can talk to.
Yeah, I could call the bishop on the bishop on duty today. He is a little bit high up and he's a bit intimidating, but I'll see if he's free. Feel free to start up your pilgrimage duties, whatever it is you plan to do. The mass is going to happen tomorrow. Unfortunately, it is quite late today, so do come back. But I'm gonna go and try to get him. He's in the back seminary. I suppose that he's free. Okay.
Yes, because I believe it. Yeah.
And as you say, she turns around to start running and then turns around and doubles back like,
What? Sorry, you were saying something?
I was just going to mention that it was very important that I speak to them.
Okay, I will try.
And she heads back, and a few people stop her on the way, and she tells them, trying to tell them politely she's busy, but then kind of helps them and goes off, and she seems to be, friendly, but overworked. Yeah, you guys are free to wander these halls. The inside of the temple, it's, as you can see on the outside image, it's got this big, let's say 20-meter tall inside ceiling. It's very high up. It's got mosaics, and there's glass paneled windows with filigree, and what are they called? Like in any churches, they have the colorful glass mosaic windows. Stained glass windows. But it doesn't look like it's stained glass. It looks like the glass itself is of that color, and it seems to shimmer and change color even with no lights affecting it. There's the walls are made of white marble, purest white marble you've ever seen. It is hands down the building that has been put the most effort in. The most effort went into this building when building the city, clearly. And it is huge. It can fit over. Currently, you look around. There's over 100 people here, but you don't hear them. You hear the footsteps, and there's no clamor. There's no noise carrying. It seems to be quiet and reverential, even with that many people in here.
Okay. Are you ready to facepalm that?
Oh god. What?
Let's fucking go.
I'm gonna roll a perception check. See if I can hear someone squeeze a fart.
Bruh?
Bro!
Do it!
One of his servants, like, so.
Do it!
You just
Okay.
just do it.
I know this
like you're about to do like a yawn or some shit.
This is what it's gonna be. You're gonna give me, first of all, 21. Okay. Give me a D100 roll. Let's see the severity
Please.
of the embarrassing moment that you will see.
70.
70. Okay. So as you look around, you notice one of the there's a young man. There's a young tiefling man standing there on the candle duty. Basically, when candles go off, he's supposed to take them off and put them in a bin to then be repurposed for more candles. And he's supposed to keep them lit, those that are lit, and not burned down. So he's on candle duty, and he's standing there, and there's people passing him. He's just completely ignoring them. And at some point, he looks around. Seems to be no one looking, or so he thinks. Picks out one lit candle, looks at it, does this weird, like, front teeth smile, looks around, puts it behind him, and then goes, like, tries, and you're quite far away from him.
Is he gonna short?
He's gonna try to fart, and you can tell because he's.
Whether he shits himself.
I shall. That is why I took a die. But the fact is, he is attempting to do the common. Oh, if I fart, clear, it's gas, right? Maybe I can make the flame go. Why not? And let's roll.
He had diarrhea.
Let's roll if he embarrasses himself or if it just doesn't work.
Acid sprays the wall.
Okay, no. Surprisingly, as you guys are looking at him, he's like doing the concentrated, and then you notice Ferverand, because you've been watching him. The flame from the candle behind him goes just a little bit, and then he looks back and goes and puts the candle back into where the candles were lit and slightly more melted. Puts it down, and he seems extremely pleased with himself. He rolled a natural 20.
I like stand there, look him directly in the eye, just doing this.
Just
yeah,
hard
he notices you.
contact.
He's looking around the room, and you get the hard eye contact, and you do this with your mask, and you do that, and he's this like pale gray tiefling with light silver hair tied up in like a bun in the back, and you see his skin turn weird, patchy ash pink from like chest up in random splotches. He seems to be absolutely embarrassed, but cannot. He's not avoiding eye contact. He's just staring you in the eyes, turning red.
Fucking cried. I laughed so hard earlier.
Means you're having fun, y'all.
We all gotta make some good poopy jokes.
It just took a massive amount of toilet humor.
Yes. It's beautiful.
We're all adults here on this channel. We are all adults. Which is quite funny, because I have mature filter on this server, on this stream, knowing you guys, and I'm like, yeah, I need this filter, because children don't deserve these jokes.
Just because I mentioned these nuts and sharding a lot doesn't mean I'm immature.
Oh god. Anyway.
It's completely for children.
While Ferverand is inappropriately eye contacting a teenager, what are you doing, Soldana and Max?
Inappropriately what?
I'm giving him a sharp stick eye with obvious indications of something smelled bad, and I'm blaming him.
Well,
While he's doing that, what are you doing?
Soldana already talked to a person to get someone to come here, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've already. Well, I'm still waiting. I'm assuming that's not an appropriate time to like try to talk to him now or something, right?
Well, she ran off to get him. This place is pretty huge. He must be in a different part of the Grand Cathedral, so I'd say give it a good 5 minutes for her to go and then come back. So you have while Ferverand is doing this, what are the two of you doing? You're just standing there awkwardly? I don't know. What are you up to?
I would probably just stand very proudly, but probably converse with Soldana.
How do you stand proudly?
Kind of like a soldier.
What are you conversing about?
Elvis first.
Chest first, hands back.
Yeah.
You trying to flirt with me?
Chin up.
The commander position.
The commander position.
Sure.
Or the gentleman of the Ton position.
Do you call yourself the Cobra Commander?
No, I call myself the Dragon Commander. Come on.
Here I am with my
Magic
Bridgerton references, and nobody gets them.
Anyway.
I'm alone.
So Soldana,
Yes.
tell me more about yourself.
I totally didn't just interrogate the fuck out of her like the day before.
It's the same day,
It's the
y'all!
same day, actually.
Second
It's the same
interrogation.
day.
Let's go.
But hey, she only talked to you.
Only to me, he hasn't talked to me. That is true. But
I wasn't there. So how come you came on these troubles?
Well, felt like it was a good time for a change. You know, going on this pilgrimage.
A lot of people desire change around this.
Yes. I'm mostly from a very secluded area on a farm.
On a
Back
farm? Oh my.
Yes. Mostly run by myself.
Oh, you have no one to help you there?
I don't need anybody. I do it pretty well. Maybe
No,
the occasional relative comes to see me.
No husband or kids or anything?
I have one son.
Oh.
He's been off though. Yeah. He was a wizard at the
Oh, a wizard.
Your kid's not a wizard per se.
He's not
really
a wizard per se.
He's really
Not a wizard,
studious.
Harry.
Named Harry.
No, he's very studious. I mean, you don't really know much about him. Like, you know, he was always doing well in the schooling, and he's off. He went to get higher education, but you're not really sure.
I know he's studying magic at like the.
No, you think he's studying magic. You're not sure. That's the thing.
No.
He went off to study something at a university in Lesnagor. That's all you know.
I would say
terrible
I would just say, hey, he is gone off to study at a very high at a prestige school.
Indeed.
Which school?
For magic. Which school? Oh shit.
Are you gonna pull your tongue?
Do I actually know the name of it?
Nope.
Oh, Okay.
Saldana, I don't
know
need
the
to tell
general
you.
direction
Yeah,
of where it
I
is.
don't need to tell you how little you know about your own kid. You know how little you know about your own kid.
You know what? I just start like making up shit right here now.
Go. Let's do it.
The professional baker.
Hang on.
I'd say it was a magical academy.
It's a magical school. It's a very prestige one. It's in the called the
None ya? What? None ya? None your business. Fucking so sad.
Oh my god, Gabe. Oh, that was so bad. That was
That's
so
the first
bad.
time you hear something like that. I've heard so many of those. I was like, when he just began saying Nanya, I was like,
Oh no, because I thought at the beginning you were saying Narnia, which is a magic land, and I was like Narnia, Narnia business, and I was like, oh god, that's doubly bad.
I heard Narnia's first as well, but I was like, after I was like, oh yeah, he's doing it.
Basically, I'm just making up like a word or something.
Okay, give me a deception. Give me a deception check.
I just rolled it.
What is it?
I rolled an 11.
Bax, I'm sorry, but your passive insight is 11. You don't even need to.
Does that mean it beat it?
Yeah, beats it.
I can roll, but
you can roll if you want.
Are you
it's up to you.
Actively trying to see if I'm lying? Do you think I would lie about this?
Honestly, if you talk and you hesitate and you say a lot of shit, like, she's, I'm not gonna believe it.
I'm gonna do like a little bit of devil's advocate here, or I mean, you could roll against it, but you're not actively being suspicious of her. So I would argue that your passive is the DC.
I mean, you find it suspicious, but you're like, maybe she's just awkward about talking about her kid.
Oh,
she seems to be.
She's just fucking stupid.
Maybe I'm just having a hard time trying to remember it exactly, you know?
Yeah, maybe, like, I have problems with words, and you're like, yeah, it is suspicious, I'll give you that. So if next time she slips up, you want to roll an insight, feel free. But this time, I'd say, maybe it's because you asked this question, like, out of nowhere. You feel like, maybe I'm, like, she's thinking about something, and I've stressed her out by asking this. She seems to be quite jumpy. So these are the thoughts going through your head, and you're like, she might not be completely truthful, or she might have been mistaken, but I'm not going to call her out on it. Yeah, you make a just give me a random word. What would an 11 deception be a name for the magic school at Lesnagor?
In Lesnagor, I'd be like the
Magicor.
Lazine Gore.
The Lazine Gore.
Yes.
The Lazine Corp.
Yes.
Lazine Corp. The Magical Academy of Lesnagor. Ferverand, while you're in an eye contest with a farter, you can.
It was very sexually intensive.
Indeed, you without dropping eye contact, you can still hear this conversation happening.
A rail.
And you are aware 100%. Yeah. He's.
Well, I mean,
he can't leave his post, so he just tries. He literally does this.
All right. And I kind of like walk up to the two of them, put my hand on Saldana's shoulder, and go, "Yeah, Bax, haven't you heard of it? I mean, I thought you lived here."
Were you able to see through that, or were you just so focused on the other guy? You just like, yeah, I'm just gonna agree with it.
I really don't care. I'm just winging it.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, you're saying I live around here, and he's talking about a completely different place.
Well, how far have you been?
Well,
where have you been?
I've been in this city for majority of my life.
Yeah, but you could also spend the majority of your life just being in a neighborhood.
Well, no, I've been around the city, but the magical school that her son is talking about, or that she was talking about her son was in, is in a completely different city. Am I right?
Yeah, completely different city.
Yeah. So, I wouldn't personally. I mean, I might have heard about. I haven't personally heard about it when I've been in my magical school myself. But
oh, really? Which one did you go to? You got like some, like you learned something with like glowing eyes, right?
Get fucked, Mads.
What Fuck.
So the magical academy in so there's multiple. It's kind of like universities, but there's different buildings. So there's higher education in Lodenborough, and it's all located in Saints Row. And there is a place.
Saints Row.
Yeah, it's the place
The
called. Yes, the third. It's called. It's just called the Magic Academy, the Lodenborough Magic Academy. There's other places called the Scribe College, where a lot of people who do religious scriptures. It's mostly like calligraphy. Sometimes some of the wizards go in there to. Bless you. Bless
Oh,
you.
sorry. I thought I muted myself. I'm sorry.
No, that was adorable. Keep at it. So you know about this
Yeah, actually sneeze more and make it closer to the mic so we've got ASMR.
Oh, no.
ASMR. So we've got the Scribe College where scriptures are written. Sometimes magic scrolls can be done. So it's its own educational facility. They have a history and religious seminary, which is quite a big deal. So the Magic Academy it's here in Lodenborough for all magic users, but it's not as prominent as that in Lesnagor. Lesnagor's got the fanciest Magic Academy. While this one is just called the Magic Academy. It doesn't particularly have a name.
I'll just say that.
It's not like
just
this isn't J.K.
Lodenborough
Rowling with
Magical Academy.
Hogwarts or whatever weird ass names. It's a Magic Academy. They call it the Magic Academy of this city. Like,
Call it like you see it. Simple.
yeah, why complicate shit?
Well, yeah. Just
This
that.
almost
Yeah,
sounds like
it's
you're,
the
like,
Lodenborough
lying,
Magical
though.
Academy.
What?
The lying? What do you mean?
I know. I was gonna say it's almost like you're caught in a lie when you just call like a school just by like what it actually
It's
is.
a Magic
Like
Academy.
Yeah.
Bro, it's a Magical Academy. It's just the Magical Academy of Lodenborough. Anyway, I just say I just go to the Magical Academy of Lodenborough. It's
Oh.
doesn't really have a specific name. It just is what it is, I suppose.
And
Most
what
fancy, yeah.
class do you take part in?
In what classes do I take part in? I usually take part in more arcane arts and stuff like that.
Which one specifically, though?
I usually go within illusion and also a bit of what the fuck is that called? Conjuring like fire and stuff. As
Pyromancy.
you
when
saw
I was-
by my firebolt.
Pyromancy. That's the word for pyromancy.
I remember.
Yeah, but there's a special thing for the
the
overall
school.
thing, the school itself. It was
Conjuration. Evocation.
Right.
You're an evoker, man. Come on.
We have
Keep
an evoker. So my two classes is mainly evocation and illusion.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's
What kind of illusions can you do?
What
What kind of illusions I can do?
Yeah.
Well, if there comes a chance at some point, maybe I'll show you.
Well, there's a chance right there. You see that little man there just hiding? Conjure a loud noise behind him or something.
No.
How now?
We're
Ferverand?
in a cathedral. I will not
Yeah, in a
spoil my
cathedral.
magical arts within this holy place.
Okay. Okay. Is the guy who farted like how far away from you is he?
He's standing right near the candles, almost across. Like, you were staring at him across the whole cathedral because your rolls were crazy high, both you and him. You managed to meet eyes, and he's standing at the very back with all the candles. At the moment, he can't leave his post because this is like he's supposed to do this. He's just standing there like this, like, and people passing by, putting candles and praying and giving him a strange look, and him going like nodding and picking up the finished candles, putting it back, still completely red.
Yeah, but how far away is he?
60 feet.
Oh.
If you wanted a distance, I gave you a distance. 60
Yeah,
feet.
I wanted a distance. That's twice than I was gonna go. It was 30 feet away from me. I was gonna play a fart song around him.
He's 60 feet. He's pretty far.
Yeah, that's too bad. I just go like this, and I play the sound of somebody go like, "Excuse me," behind him, behind backs.
I just look at you. You,
So-
you literally told me. You literally said like this. Hello.
I just
Not
wanted to see how gullible you were.
I just look at you being like, bro.
And then you hear it again, and there's actually somebody behind you.
You're so
I mean, I can hear
rude.
footsteps as well if someone walks behind me. I'm not deaf.
Well,
Wait, like in the pavement of usually like cathedrals and stuff like that, you can hear someone walking. It's like it's really audible every fucking step.
This particular cathedral, as you've entered, you've seen 100 people. The sound of shuffling feet and writing and talking should have been overwhelming with the acoustics, but there seems to be some sort of a magical effect that dampens the odd sounds
yeah, Matt,
that are not
fuck you.
from singing or psalms.
I mean, dampens, yes, but it won't remove them. It's not like
No, it
Fuse
doesn't
Burritos.
remove them. It's just it's like with the ambience that you hear now. You can hear the chanting, but any of the people walking around and stepping, you don't hear that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Anyway,
As you guys
What
are
about
doing
the-
these shenanigans,
We're just killing time.
you're just killing time. You see Bribin run back, or like walk. Sort of, she's brisk walking, but trying to seem more, astute and calm and not regal, but having a more of a calm disposition. That's the word I was looking for. And as she comes close to you, there is a man behind her who's even smaller than she is. She's a halfling. She is about
Oh, this is a gnome.
1.5 meters, and there's a man that exudes the strange presence as he's walking through. There's everybody's taller than him, even children, but even they tend to like quiet down and bow to him as he passes by. He's got this very sort of strange tawny eyes, so they're almost golden in their intensity.
I lean
And
towards Hildana. Oh no, it's a gnome.
not again. Why do we gotta bring racism into this? Why does this happen all the time?
Fantasy
Every-
racism is the best kind.
Every
Only
time.
with gnomes.
Why?
bro.
Is
Because
this
they're
a
filthy
thing?
gnomes.
No.
There can only be one
God.
short king, and it's not me.
Anyway, this is what he looks like. He looks pretty young, but you can't tell with gnomes. He passes by a bunch of people and heads in your direction. The Breben turns around to you and goes,
Hello, it is my pleasure to introduce you to Bishop Sarah Merwersinker.
and the bishop bows his head and goes,
It is a pleasure to have you in our cathedral. How may I be of assistance? Breben said this is very urgent.
Yes. Recently we were asked to assist a barmaid at this tavern. I mentioned the name of the tavern.
Oh, she's the
And I
most
mentioned
she's the
she was the hostess.
she's the
my bad.
hostess of the inn,
I-
not a
yeah.
bar wench at a tavern.
Alright.
He's a wench.
Okay, you need. I'm-
I say barmaid. I say hostess. I say host. I'm sorry.
Hostess.
I say
It's
her
okay.
name. Just Esmeralda, was it?
Sure. Yes.
Did I just completely forget?
Yes, it's Esmeralda.
Eris.
It's
It was an E.
Esmeralda now. It's Esmeralda now. Sure.
Eris.
Eris!
This is how much how much she's stuck with me.
Yes.
Does she also have a hunchback in the attic?
Yes. So I mentioned. Anyways, I mentioned Eris. I mentioned we were asked to help her, and well, you see, we had a bit of a problem with the objects just coming to life in their home and attacking them at random. And we were able to find, as we investigated one of the kitchens there, in there was a sack that we believe had a hex on it. We still have it, but I believe it was smashed earlier.
My goodness.
Parse anything from that?
A hex bag, you say? Such dark
Yes.
magic. Lady be praised. Do you have the remnants of this hex bag with you?
Who got it?
Yes, I have it in my inventory ready for you to have. And I
Wow.
like go back, pull it out, give it to you.
Maybe not such a good idea to do this in front of. And he looks around, and there's children present even at night, and there's a lot of other people. Please come to the office. Come along. And he walks over and puts a hand on the shoulder of Brevin and says, "Please see to the other pilgrims so that they have everything they need. I have this under control." And Brevin sort of reverently bows and says, "Of course, Bishop," and scuttles over. He leads you into a corridor into the cathedral, like behind the main hall. There are a few well-lit staircases and corridors, and he takes you to an office after about a minute's walk up a stairs, up into one of the towers. As you come in, it is lined with books. The place is like a wall library. There's a cozy table. There's a fire going in the corner. A magical flame without a chimney, so there is no polluting the white marble of the city. And he sits back down on his desk and gestures into some chairs and lounging area around his office space, I guess. You notice that there are quite a few chairs, so he probably takes quite a few visitors a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Please sit. If you may produce this hex bag and place it on the table so I may examine it.
Yes, sir.
Sure
There you go.
It's a bomb.
He takes the opened, kind of rifled, messy hex bag with the note and the bones, and he slowly he takes out spectacles, puts them on, and slowly takes piece by piece. Seems to be very engrossed, and he has this concerned frown on his head. And on that note, as he is examining this and you guys are sitting, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break to...
be right back.
Yes,
Commercial break.
to let Soldana
Have you
remember...
heard about Raid Shadow Legends?
Yeah,
The most
remember...
amazing-
We're not sponsored by
Yes.
Raid Shadow Legends, but mostly for Soldana to remember the names of the NPCs. Take a
Well, the
second.
most important characters, the NPCs.
Indeed.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean, we're all tired. You had a very long day.
We're
It
all loving
happens.
Esmeralda, yeah.
But
That's
no,
good.
I'm just Esmeralda. I want to name
I
her
don't
that
know-
now.
I don't know why I went with Esmeralda.
Hey, I
was
could change
so
her name to
confident,
Esmeralda.
too.
It's fine. It's
Because it's because you've been dabbling in hellfire, Danny.
Indeed.
Mhm.
Okay, quick break.
Hellfire.
Quick break. 5 minutes. We'll see. We'll see how fast it is, but quick break indeed.
Be right back.
They are back. Mario.
One. We're back. Hello, everybody. We are back to the stream. And
we're back.
we've had a break, had a drink, relaxed a little bit, gathered our wits about us, and we go back to the city of Lodenborough and the Grand Cathedral at the center of said city. You guys are currently in the room of Bishop Sincor, who is one of the higher order clerics or clergyman of the Lodenborough Church. And he has just finished examining all the components of the hex bag. He takes off his spectacles, puts them down, looks at the three of you and goes, "This is very concerning. This is clear black magic, and he points at the blood sigil, that is definitely some high-level sinister cursing going on here.
How familiar are you with these types of items?
Personally, I have never seen anything like this, because there hasn't ever been such dark magic in the Empire for as long as I have lived, or as long as my parents and grandparents have lived.
Oh.
Honestly speaking, I've never seen anything like it, and I'm amazed that the Holy Order hasn't looked up, hasn't noticed this complaint. Very disconcerting. And you say the three of you have stopped this issue from... I'm amazed you managed to find it.
We didn't stop it. We're not sure if we've stopped it.
Oh,
But we did find this item at the very least.
I see. Well, maybe if there's one item in one place, there might be others.
That's
thank
what we
you.
are uncertain of.
Yes, thank you for bringing this to my attention. I will bring this up with the Archbishop, and we will make sure to tell the Holy Order to, now that they know what they're looking for, to make sure to scan the area to see if there's any others.
Such black magic, if so dark, why is it only being used against, like, one young woman?
That I do not know. I know of Eris. I think she, as you said, she runs the Deep Pillow Tavern, the best restaurant in town, of course. Everybody knows the best restaurant in town, and Eris.
So,
she's one of the most famous people in
yes,
in the city, almost as
everybody
famous
knows
as
that's
the
Melrose.
Archbishop.
That's Marolda.
Almost as famous as the Archbishop. But he looks at you guys and goes, "I thank you," and he sees your pilgrimage sign. Gentlemen and lady, for assisting the city in saving and resolving this issue before anybody got seriously injured and hurt. I will take this from now on. This is a burden that we as a church and as a Holy Order must carry, and we will have to take care of this. I thank you. And he rises and does a little bow to you, and then very carefully scoops up the pieces of the hex bag into this, like, it's like a jewelry box? Like, he found a box somewhere, and he separated the items, like bones to one place, the little magic circle to another, and all the, he's trying to separate the hex bag, not to put it all together. Then he closes the box and locks it, and puts it down on his table and goes, "Well, is there anything else I might help you with?"
No. It was all I, as a citizen of Lodenborough, wanted to ensure that this was under control. I said with nothing harmful
Of
to happen to this city.
Of course. You do this city a great service, and the Empire as well. This will be brought to attention of the higher-ups. I myself am, while I may be a bishop, I'm an intermediary cleric in the grand scale of things, but I do have the Archbishop's ear, and further on, she has access to the higher levels of the clergy that will make sure that this is taken care of.
well,
Yes.
since you're offering to answer any questions, is there any particular district or street I should avoid? I mean, I am touring the city, but I'd rather not have my pockets picked.
He seems genuinely offended by that notion. He goes like, "All is well in Lodenborough. This is one of the most safest cities in the Empire. The Holy Order, while their headquarters might be elsewhere, and while the majority of them might be away at war, they do patrol the city. This, and he points at the jewelry box now, standing away from him. It's like, this is the first instance, as I said, in almost 1,000 years that we've seen anything nefarious going on. There's no such thing as pickpockets in Lodenborough. I do not understand your meaning, sir. Every street is safe at any time of day.
Yes, everything is completely safe in Lodenborough.
Then, I shall take you at your word, and in the odd scenario, should you be wrong, I'll just hold you accountable.
That's me laughing, not Vax.
Bishop Sinker sort of nods at you and says, I see you do not believe in the lady's omnipotence, and that she would protect this holy city. But that is all right.
I believe in the lady. I do not believe in people.
He smiles a little and goes, that is actually a wise choice. But I assure you, in Lodenborough, all is well.
Lodenborough.
For God's sake. I named one city.
She said the
one
title,
city.
You
Just laugh at me. Anyway, as he expectantly looks at you, what do you do?
Like,
well, I take a bow and well, we shall take our leave now, or at least I will.
Of course, naturally. And
excuse me, he's my guide, and I follow him.
Yeah, and I assume Soldana, what do you do?
I believe you're muted.
Yeah, you're muted. Sorry.
Sorry, fuck. I was talking. I took a little curtsy bow, and I was. Is there any sort of work that I would need to do as well?
Yes, the pilgrimage. I mean, there is a lot of work to be done in Lodenborough, unlike the smaller cities you might have encountered on your way here from the capital. There is, and he points at the cathedral and the enormity of it, and goes, much to do. Many opt out to write scriptures or sweep, as those are the easier tasks, but there are many other sort of more tedious business to be attended to that we would be thankful for, but obviously we would never... There is no pressure to do any of this, you know that. It is a full volunteer service for the Holy Lady.
I know what I signed up for. I'm committed.
So he tells you that they have a candle making sort of, not a factory, but like an enclave outside, slightly. It's an offshoot of the main cathedral in the back. And they produce the holy incense in there, and that would require to do the job that the guy who was doing the farting thing was doing, either helping it remove old, like, burnt down candles and, like, scraping away the tallow, bringing the actual powdered incense, helping with the thing. It's like a hot and... Like, the place is always surrounded in heat because the tallow needs to be melted, so it's, a lot of people are like, I don't want to get dirty, it's hot, I'd rather just sweep or write. So a lot of people don't do this job, and of course there's the polishing old gilded metal along the whole place. So, and then there's a standard dusting, you know, it's more upkeep jobs that anybody can do. It's not something that you have to be skilled.
For like a few days.
You're here for like 2 days, and so, and it's something that anybody from child to an adult could do, and there is any level of skill involved that you can opt out for.
And I do any one of those jobs, probably like the candle making one.
You want to go to the candle making? Okay. Give me a constitution check.
How far can you deep throw the candle? That's the question.
Hey, yo!
For fuck's sake, Ferverand.
Whoa!
You made Constitution. I just applied the law.
I went on break specifically to calm you down. I took the break to give you nap time. What happened?
So you said ability check or saving throw?
Saving throw.
Oh, okay. I'll say 13.
13. The place gets a bit hot. So I assume you guys split up and you go do the task now, or you're signing up to do it later.
I'm doing my thing. They're off to do their thing.
Okay.
We're off
so
to see the wizard.
Okay, so you spend however long you spend. It doesn't have to be 3 consecutive hours. It could be an hour now, and then the next day you do more. It's like, as long as you're here, you need to do a total of 6.
Mm-hmm.
You can split it up. You can do more than 6 if you want, but it's like there is no requirement. There's recommendations. You know.
I'm going until like I'm up. My 3 hours are up.
Cool. So you go to the candle making place, and there's a nice it's in their own way recycling, because the incense is free, and they do provide it free for the pilgrims, and then they repurpose it once it's done, as much as they can repurpose from it, to then be able to make more candles. And it is a very like hot, like there's a lot of steam and a lot of boiling going on around you, but you rolled a 13. You're kind of okay. You sweat a little bit, but you seem to be content with a hard day's work. It's not your first time like churning something.
I've been in a hot sun trying to
Yeah, you've done that. You've
mill the ground.
Yep, you're not unaccustomed to hard labor, and this is actually quite satisfying. And
sort of keeping my mind off of like other things that I
and what's beautiful about the candles is that, unlike regular wax, which doesn't smell like anything, or tallow, which stinks because it's made of animal fat, this has got incense like already repurposed into it, so it's like hot, nice smell coming up at you, and when you come out, you don't stink of incense or sweat. You don't stink of like fat or sweat. You smell of incense. You're like covered in the scent of incense, which is quite pleasant.
Okay.
So there's a bonus to that. You're gonna be smelling. Write down. You're gonna be smelling of incense for the next 2 days.
Oh, okay.
Even after you take a bath. Like your whole clothes and your armor and everything. And it's not like you're like a walking candle. It's a pleasant sort of whiff of
You had 2 dams of perfume.
Kind of.
Oh, damn.
2 dams of perfume. While Sylfania has spent the next 3 hours, I'd say by the time you emerge at like 9 p.m. It's very late. You probably are tired. You would want to go back. What are the 2 of you doing? Because you headed out, and Sylfania like said, "Bye, bitches," and went off to do candles.
What are you guys doing?
Yeah, what are you up to?
Since I have you as my local guide for my touring session of the city, could you tell me where I might purchase some accessories and perchance a map, so I won't have to be the boulder on your shoulder for much longer?
Of course, sir. I can lead you to the trading district, where we keep most of the things.
Thank you.
So you guys head over to Southgate again, and you would know that the IAI, the International Adventurers Inn, stocks maps. It's one of the only places that has these maps, and some of them are really well drawn maps of the city. And of the Empire, and some of them are like fake treasure maps. Oh, it is, because adventuring is sort of extinct in the Empire because it's so safe now. You don't really need adventures. Majority of people end up working for the Holy Order if they want like battle, because there's an ongoing war. If you want battle, just join the Holy Order and go off to Night Favicia to fight your battle, and stop trying to find adventure. There's no treasure hunting of sorts, because the Empire has been here for about 1,000 years, and any treasure that's been here has already been hunted. Really, adventuring is not a job anymore. But this inn is like, it's like when you go to Scotland and you see all the tartan. You're like, there's no clans anymore, but they're banking on the fact that people come to Scotland to see the Highland culture, So it is a souvenir shop in a way of adventuring gear, and it's got these paraphernalia, and it looks like your standard tavern. It's fetishizing adventurism.
It's about to say, like, do they just like make like these like they just get these little caves that they find, and then just like
Yeah, they do.
filling it with stuff to make it like an adventure. Like, ooh,
They
have
do.
some spooky ghosts pop out.
Literally,
Or
they
just-
do like was it closed room escapes, something like that, but with adventuring. So they're like, oh, there's a treasure hunt in the city. Oh, fine, follow these clues to find it.
Like those
And
haunted mansions.
basically,
Tell me, Nat, how many people are cosplaying as adventurers right now?
oh, quite a lot. So as you guys actually head to the IIA, I'm going to change the music.
What part of me was like thought they were real adventurers, and what part of me thought like, wait, no, these can't be real adventurers.
Well, you're not with them,
Probably
are
the
you?
foam
You're,
swords.
you're doing the candle thing.
Yeah, but I know, but it was like when I first saw them as I came into town.
There weren't that many in town. I think most of them. It's like a D&D convention. Most of them converge in one building. The rest of the city gives them a wide berth when they go on the tube, and then they disappear off to that convention. That's kind of it. You might have seen one or two dressed ostentatiously like a barbarian with a giant mace. But the outfit was clearly not made of leather. It was made like it was hand sewn.
Cardboard.
D&D, your D&D game, basically, or like an anime con when people dress up as anime characters, but you won't see them on the street. They'd be on the
So
way
weird.
to the
Why would people want to be
convention.
an anime character?
Does somebody
I
get
know, right?
offended if there's like a human with fake elf ears?
No, they don't care. Right, let me try to change the music and hopefully
I was about to say, like, me being literally a half elf and seeing someone with fake pointy ears.
I don't think it is more fake pointy ears. It's more about the idea of you're dressed up as like as a barbarian, or you're dressed up as a thief. And if you're dressed up as a thief, you have this mask, and then you have these like black clothes, and you're walking around and spinning little knives, but they're all fake. It's like, it's not plastic, but it's not sharp metal, and you're dressed in fake. But honestly, in Southgate, you don't see that many people just going around doing that. What was the Southgate OST? I need to find it. Sorry, I should really arrange my OSTs in a better manner, because they're in the list here with
Been
the
enjoying it so
location.
far.
Sorry.
Been enjoying the music.
Yes, there we go.
So, I have been adventuring in the Lodenbra escape room adventuring zone
But
for
you
the past
adventure
3
my
years.
ass.
There we
I
go.
will adventure all around your ass. I will explore your deepest dungeon and pull out your dungeon heart.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Basically, actually, can you cancel this one? Because you guys are heading to the Adventures Inn, and as you're heading closer, it's actually the closest building from Light's Rest, where you guys were previously. And as you're heading into the tavern, before I play this, I want to show you what you see as you approach the International Adventures Inn. It is a building. It's an interesting building.
Oh god, it's a furry convention, isn't it?
It has clearly been built, ignoring the architectural style kind of the city.
That's already as scaly.
Trying to do its own thing, trying to seem
Bruh.
edgy and cool. And it has these big, like, windows behind which you can see, like, stuffed bears and armor and something that's like, oh, it's a giant boot. Oh, I dropped an earring. It's a giant boot that they're like, oh, it's a giant's boot. Oh, you've never seen a live giant before, but here it is. Stuff like that. And there's people on the way to the place dressed up clearly as fake adventurers. And there's some kids dressed up in, like, they have this like Viking hat or something. It feels very fan basey. Doesn't feel like an actual Adventurers Inn. And as you head in, you open the doors, and you get hit by sound.
Oh,
You get hit as you walk in, there is just chatter. There's a lot of people talking. There is a lot of things going on. There's some kids dressed up as different. Like, there's one kid with a fake proper dragon head. There's again that half barbarian dude in fake leather, and smell of smashed toilet. And Jesus, as they're all sort of, the interior looks what you would have imagined a standard adventure tavern would look like. It's got different monster heads like mounted on the walls. It has, the tables are a little bit scratched and there's like a dagger in one of them, but the dagger is a prop that is in a table. There's a literal bar wench. I don't know how else to explain it. Like Oktoberfest level bar wench who looks bored and tired to be here. And she's carrying a bunch of steins, and she puts them down and looks up at you guys, turns around and carries on carrying drinks. There's some loud fake cheering in the corner, and the main attraction of this place is the big long table in the back, where behind it are just, it's a wall pinned with maps, wanted posters, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And the man behind it is this dwarf, and he just sits there and watches everybody smoking a pipe and looking like he just stepped out of a Magic the Gathering card. I kid you not, dude.
King
Indeed.
King.
Yes, there he is. He has this glorious mustache and glorious beard. He has a top knot and a braid. He looks like your fantasy of dwarf king, right? Fantastic. He sits there looking all broody and smoking a weird pipe, you know, staring down all the people that come in with this, like, the eyebrows moving up and down, trying to check what's going on. Doesn't seem to talk to a lot of people, but you're quite far off from him. It's quite busy. There's a lot of people. Some people are going around to chat to him, and he like pulls off something from underneath the table and plops a literal like crate full of like old flasks that are labeled magic potion, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Okay.
You do.
The dagger in the table, if I like were to pull on it, does it like wang as it like twirls back and forth?
Yeah, as you pull the dagger a little bit, it's like it's made of this like cheap lead. It's not really a dagger. It's this like not lead, but you know, this metal that you can actually bend.
Tin?
It's tin. It's made of like tin. And the kids who are staring at you like, "Whoa, you're so strong!" Okay.
Like that?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure it's accurate.
Indeed, that is exactly what you do. The little grr. You see a bunch of people walking around being lost, and the dude behind beckoning them in, and like with a flourish scurrying like a map on the table and putting steins in the corners to keep the map from scrolling back, and pointing on the map, and then with this pipe sort of, you can't really hear what they're talking about, but you can see him gesticulate, and the tourists are super excited about this whole ordeal.
Okay.
Well, let us get you that map and the supplies that you need immediately, shall we?
Yes. Let's. I would walk to whatever seems to be a counter of business and not a counter of props.
As you head over,
Tag along.
yeah, that would be in the back. It's that one big counter in the back. As you head over to it, you notice that some of the maps look like there are of course those fake treasure maps with a big X, and then there's a small stand that just says maps of Laudenborough. You know, they do have to have a business. And just like maps of the local area, you know, things like that. You quite easily find, like the 12 greatest cathedrals of the empire. You know,
Excuse me, do you have a brochure?
basically, it's a bunch of brochures, but they're sort of tucked away into a corner, away from all the fake stuff. But you can probably, like, because you're looking specifically for them, I'm not even going to make you roll. You could probably find them. You can tell when a map is clearly fake, and then you turn to your right and you see it. As you are about to select a map of Laudenborough, the dwarf comes up to you and says, Well, now, it seems you found something in this wonderful place of ours that does not belong here.
My character just silently cringes at this.
Good dwarf, I seem to have stumbled upon the secret treasure of the adventurers' den. Actual merchandise.
Witty one, are you? That's good. Right, I might as well drop the accent if you're like this. Hello, my name is Ryan Strongmaster. It's a pleasure to meet you. I put this, the very gruff accent for the tourists because they quite like it. But you seem to be, yes. It's all business, man. It's all business. Hey, and he nods at you back, so like you knew this dude he'll do anything to sell. Man is a sellout.
I kind of like lean down to like get closer to him, just go like, "You see this mask?
Yeah.
I wear it purely to fuck with people. It drives them nuts.
I know, right?
They always have to ask about it. It's fucking hilarious."
I mean, I've never seen an adventure in my life. I lived here all my life, never seen one. But this is what I imagine adventuring's like, I guess. So
they're usually just people that run in the woods and stab goats or something.
I know, right?
Stab goats.
I mean, all you need to do is just put a bunch of heads and a bunch of fake maps, and you got all these. And he points at a
Fake
group of
maps.
Yeah, I mean, he literally pulls out one that is like little dots and then an X and then a little dots and a skull, and it looks like a bit of like the case a lot of these though, so they sell pretty well. Right.
Sorry, back.
Okay.
We didn't mean to shatter the illusion.
You seem to be
No. I meant more like inaccuracies on the Lodenborough map.
No.
But
These
that's
are
fine.
legit.
If it's just treasure maps.
Of course, no. Like we do sell proper merchandise, but Lodenborough is a circle. I mean, it's not that difficult to find your way around. But yeah, we do sell regular maps for people out of town. And we do sell. Yeah.
I just want to get more of a feel for like the district specialties and such.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a few districts. I can walk you through it real quick. And he pulls out the map and he's like, honestly, it's either talking to you or pretend to be, one of them Charmontian dwarves. And I honestly, I don't know the accent. I mean, my grandfather lived here, so I'm an old time immigrant. So anyway, and he pulls out the map, like a scroll, opens it up. And it's actually, this one is not a scroll, this one's a proper brochure. He opens up the brochure of the city, and what you see is, I shall actually put it up here. I think it'll be cropped, which is a bit of an issue, but, and the music's gone again! What is
Try queuing it twice.
Okay, I will do so. I just need to find the map. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see, oh boy, hello. That just blew up. Nope, cancel.
Oh boy.
We see everything.
Yeah, that was. I think it's because all the images are the same size, and this image is enormous.
Let's put your clothes on.
Enormous image.
Bear with me. I will show you. I guess I'll just resize it. Is there a smaller image? Nah. Right. Anyway, I will post that image. I'll resize it and post it later. I can't do this right now. But basically, the city is a circle. It's a circular city around a hill, and it's got 5 districts. Yeah, it's got the South Gate, which is where you are right now, with the road heading to Lesnagor and the road heading west. Then you have the Lights Rest, which is directly next to it, and this is where the Grand Cathedral is. The district right behind it is called Six Boroughs. It's the biggest one, and that's where everybody else lives. Like, this is where all the locals live. This is a residential area. It has the rich area closer to the high peak of the hill, and then as you go off, like, the houses get a little bit less fancy. Like, the mansions and all that shit are closer to the cathedral. And then on the north side, or east side of the city, is directly opposite to Southgate, is Saints Row, which is the place of all of the colleges and the Magic Academy and a lot of the scribes and the Great Library. It's basically a scholar district. And then the one to the north of the city is called the Holy Marches, where the Holy Order keeps its barracks, and it's got training grounds, it's got armor smiths, and all kinds of Holy Order related paraphernalia. Most of the people who are in the Holy Order, those who live with their family, they sometimes live in 6 boroughs, but those who don't like have permanent residence in Lodenborough, or those who came here on assignment, they stay in the Holy Marches. So it is also like the second residential area for non-locals, but for the military in a way. But anybody can go in, really. Like, the districts aren't closed to anyone. Maybe you can't get into a building, but you can walk the streets. It's not prohibited in a way. There's a bunch of different gates coming out of the city. Actually, let me bring this map as a reference, because I remember the city because I made it, but visual reference is always good, especially with the names. Yes. So the Southgate Road is leading to Lesnagor, and the road between the Holy Marshes and Saints Row, or the gate, is called New Row. Bax, you know that this is the notorious New Row, where certain individuals tend to return after a while. Hence, they named it New Row, like it's a renewal of their life after a certain event.
Yes.
And it heads north. There's a bunch of other roads out of the city. Like, it's not just the 2 gates. There's a bunch of others. There's a farmland outside and a river called the Orphos River that bends around the city and continues on down to the Vermilion Sea. Vermilion Lake, sorry. I know it's best to have a visual reference, but I don't have a smaller version of this map. Or, I mean, I could have it and then minimize it, but then it will... You know what? Screw it. I'll add it. Keep talking. As you're talking about, I'll show you, give you a visual visual reference in a bit.
You see, Bags, this map is clearly fake. Not because the X is gigantic and so are the dots, but because it's made of plastic. Bonk.
Plastic?
Yes,
is
this
plastic?
is actually a paper plate. You thought this was an actual map?
plastic you speak of?
I'm quite proud we've reached the era of plastic at this point.
I'm sorry, solid paper.
Thank you. Solid parchment.
You see, these maps here that seem to kind of drape down, those are actually napkins.
Yes. Well, Ferverand, I do gotta ask.
Please don't.
Well, nothing of that, I promise you. Why are you really here in this city?
I am a tourist. Is it not allowed for me to tour the city?
No.
Of course it is. It's just there's a few inquiries of what you have said and your general behavior that is quite odd compared to what I'm used to of any form of tourist.
Are you suggesting that my irresistible charm is somehow heinous?
Oh, hardly. Your charm, as you so call it, is endearing, to say the least. But as showcasing as when we were in the cathedral, you did a completely different ritual than everybody else and claimed it was a capital one. I've seen many bishops and stuff come from the capital and whatnot, and and stuff. I've seen many bishops and other higher role fucking priests and whatnot. Clergy, thank you. Come from the capital and have never seen such a ritual such as you did. And that makes me think you improvised it somehow.
Oh wow, Bax, what threw you off? Was it my magnetic charm or your dashing wit?
Obviously my dashing wit. Regardless, do tell me. What is up? You seem to hide something.
As the chat seems to imply, my massive fat dick. But other
I knew it was something.
my evil plot revealed. My plans to turn the city into a big fat orgy. Curse you, Bags Obsidian. You and your hideous looks have ruined everything.
Curse you, Plary the Platypus! Curse you, Plary the Platypus!
Anyway. Well, if you'd rather keep it to yourself, I'd not be too inquisitive about it, but it's just, I'm curious.
It's not that I'm keeping it to myself, Bax. It's more that you're asking an obvious question. I believe, as my dwarven friend here seems to understand, I like fucking with people. Plain and simple.
It's a great hobby. It's great. And then you see a woman come up and say, "Excuse me," he goes, "Aye, how may I help you, young maiden? Is it something to do with the treasure hidden in the city?" And she goes, "Oh, yes, actually, I would like to buy a map." And he goes like, "Right then," and winks at you, Ferverand, and, you know, sort of hobbles over as if he's got like a peg leg, and then he can walk perfectly fine. To demonstrate his point.
I aid in his performance by like reinforcing all of his shenanigans with like, more bravado and panache.
Okay, he seems to really like you. You both are fucking around with the tourists. And the thing is, she's low-key understands that this is kind of fake, but she's enjoying the experience.
It's a good show.
Yeah. For those of you, I finally sorted out how to do the map, so if those of you who are interested can take a look. This is like the full map. It's got like, you can see the city's kind of round, and it's completely walled. Then they've got a bunch of farmland behind here, and the river bending on the side. Now, the districts, you will see, it's just a really high-res map, that's why it won't let me do it in one go. You see, you guys are currently in Southgate, which is this district that you came through this road. The Light's Rest is directly next to it, and this is the top of the hill with the cathedral. Then you've got the 6 boroughs, which are over here. They're the most sprawling city, and you can see some of the large ones are mansions closer to the big one, and then as you go off, the housing becomes much smaller. You got Saints Row, which is a bunch of like blocky buildings and a lot of empty spaces, mostly for squares and studying parameters and whatnot. And then there is the Holy Marches, which barracks in a way. And here are the exits, and I will send you this map so you can peruse it at your leisure later. It costs like 1 silver to buy this map. It folds out into, and all the locations of all the places are on here, so I'd say now if you want to go somewhere, you can go and request this map, and you can reference this map and you will find a place easier than you would have. Cool. There's also a bunch of other things here. There's, you see that this place is actually a hotel as well. You know, like Disney World. It's a hotel too, but except highly overpriced for the extreme tourists. It has a lot of exhibits, and as the dwarf, the main man of this place, hobbles back over, or walks back over and says, "Right, you fellow, what was your name? I know you did introduce yourself, but
Dickens.
Of course." And he winks at you.
Dickens.
I bet that's your name, yeah? Anyway, I like you, so I'm gonna give you something. We have this cool shit, right? I'm gonna tell you, most of this stuff, and he points behind him, is tourist junk, right? It sells well, but it's cheap. I've got a real deal here. And he goes to the back room and puts out a black sort of box covered in black cloth. And there's
mysterious.
There's like a hand-shaped hole that you can pull it in, and he says, "Right, because I like you, I'm gonna give you a discount. Usually, you pay 50 gold coins, and then you put your hand in, and whatever you pull out is yours. Now, items in here, some of them are worth much higher than 50 gold points. some of them are worth that much or less. But for you, because I like you, and I don't bring this out
I
easily,
want you.
I'm gonna let you do it for 40. Because I'm a businessman. I got to sell a business. Should be interested in this kind of thing.
Now, just one question beforehand. If I do put my hand in the box, am I gonna tug on a soft dwarf?
He starts laughing. He starts laughing. The bar wench comes over to him, puts the glasses on the table, gives you all a stink eye, and goes like, and walks away. And he's just dying on the table. He looks up and goes like, oh, I'm gonna use that, although not in front of the kids, but yeah. Oh my god. Man, that was good. That was good. You should do stand-up. You're really good.
Thank you. Though, I believe I'd like to leave my comedy for the cultured.
Right, yeah. I mean, I get it. You know, the quiet, unknown, mysterious comedian that people will look at you and think, oh, intimidating, and then you throw a whip crack and the person just dies. It's amazing.
It's easier to fuck with people when you're an unknown.
I know. Right. Anyway.
Anyway, here you go, 40 gold.
Oh, fabulous! Give me a D100 roll.
Yep. I don't even care if it's a scam. He's
Just want to do
entertaining
it.
enough.
Okay.
46.
46. Okay. As you put your hand into the box, you feel like the box is pretty small and it's on the table. And as you put your hand goes through where the table would be. And it's just empty
I go
space.
as far as I fucking can.
You go elbow, you go shoulder deep. You go shoulder
deep.
Oh boy.
You go shoulder deep into that box.
I look the dwarf in the eye and say, wow, you've got quite some room in there.
He goes like, I know. Got the local.
Pretty deep.
It's pretty deep, yeah. And as you sort of rummage around, you suddenly feel like through the nothingness, your hands close around like a bottle of some sort, and you pull out you pull your hand out, and you see it is it's like a swirling yellowing potion. And as you look at it, you sort of move it around, and it shimmers, and the dwarf, well, I'm sure you've had a quick chat with him, and he would have introduced himself as Rain and Strong Master, but you know, when he was like, "Just call me running."
His real name is Gary.
No, my name is Rainen. My name is Rainen, but it's not Rainen. It's Rainen, but it's just whatever. Anyway, never seen that before. That's the first time anybody else pulled it out. I mean, I don't really bring the box out. It's only for the special clientele, if you know what I mean.
I kind of twirl it. I think it's piss.
Nah.
Ooh.
You open and you smell it, and it smells weird.
Yeah, that's usually what
It smells weird. It smells. It doesn't smell like piss, but it doesn't smell like any potion you've ever.
Unzipped pants.
Jesus Christ.
enough.
So anyway, please put a bottle of potion and right next to it weird. So until you identify it, you don't know what it is.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't have identification. Okay, let's see here. I need a... I just have potion, brackets, weird.
Or whatever, or like yellow potion from IIA, or any reference you can get that it's from this place that you got this potion.
The description will just be adventuring scam bar yellow potion.
There you go. Awesome. Bax, you have been observing this whole entire thing with... What? Any comments? Any input?
I've been
You
mostly
could even
like,
have a comment in through this.
I've been mostly thinking, yeah, for courtesy's sake, just in my head, just please.
Max,
nice.
wouldn't you
wanna go
love
home.
give it a go?
Unfortunately, it is not the day for me to put my hand in the dwarf's box.
Oh,
No,
come on.
there's
He's
a
Ryden looks at you and goes like, "Oh, come on, laddie. Try the box, laddie. Try the
Put your
box.
hand in me box.
Come on, laddie."
Please,
laddie, I need it.
Put your hand in
Basically,
my box. You can go shoulder deep.
He starts just taunting you in a weird, overly sexualized dwarf manner, clearly as a satire, but he just keeps going. The barmaid literally puts this and goes, "If you're gonna keep doing that, I'm gonna quit and you're gonna have to serve them because you're embarrassing me. You're embarrassing me and I can't work in these conditions."
hot work of these conditions.
Oh my
She
god!
walks away.
Can you
Oh my
not
God.
fucking do that?
And Raiden looks at her and goes, "Honestly, I would have fired her, but she's the daughter of a friend. Did you know? It's a big city, but it's a small city."
Well, best I can do is throw 20 gold in the dwarf. That's all I got on me. I'm afraid.
Throw your 20 gold in the door.
Oh, sorry, my man. I mean, that's the thing. The best items in here, the best things I've seen people. Apparently, I don't even know where this box came from. It's just always been here, and you know, I've inherited it with the building. And people have been pulling things out of here for years now, and they just. It's sometimes same things that people pull out, but
Perhaps
they just seem
like
to never
a
end.
different-
They're just always in there.
Perhaps I got a different proposition for you.
Oh, you're gonna
20
give a
gold and no tux. And I give you some free advertisement that comes in the form of me throwing out some posters and shit near the Magical Academy.
Give exposure.
I'm gonna give you exposure.
You're gonna pay him like that?
Give me a persuasion check with disadvantage. Because he looks you over and goes like, "Listen, I cater mostly to tourists.
Most.
You know, I cater mostly to people who've never been to Laudenborough, and you're telling me you're gonna advertise to people who actually do magic to come here and buy dubious magic shit. All right,
You see,
do me a persuasion check with disadvantage.
17.
With disadvantage.
Yeah, I got a
Damn,
plus 4.
son.
Okay.
One was 13, the other one was 15.
Okay, he looks you over and goes, "Right, well, maybe there's some gullible tweens that'd like to fancy themselves adventurers, you know, you magical folk. You're all like, I don't want to go to war. No, do I want to be in the was it hospitality business or in the infrastructure? That was the word I was looking for. Nah, forgot the word infrastructure.
I mean, you
Um,
know, when people have gone to
yeah.
a magical university for so long, they need something to rebound off eventually.
Yeah, you guys are
Get a
just
degree
bored.
And being
Anyway,
a fucking pussy.
I'll
Yes,
let
some
you.
people are a bit bored.
I'll let you do that. If you do a favour for me instead of this publicity thing. I mean, you do the publicity thing, but you also do a favour. And it's going to be not 20, but 25. So one of your friends here is going to have to loan you a fiver.
What
But
do
I
you
will-
want to do?
It's literally
Well,
half
they can-
price. It is literally
well,
half
they
price.
can-
I usually take 50. I'm halving it for you. For a favour, a bit of publicity, and one of your friends just giving you a fiver. That's it.
Well, Dickens, do you feel like my guidance was worth 5 gold?
Do you?
I hope it was
mean-
adequate.
Honestly, I had to save you from a rampaging table, so I mean, 2 stars.
I'm sorry, what? A what?
Don't worry.
Oh yeah, there was like a sentient table chasing the
On
hostess.
fire.
of the-
It was
of the
on
deep
fire.
floor.
Holy
Yeah,
shit, is
He
Eris
lit it on
okay?
fire.
Is Eris okay?
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
we
I
saved her.
cut it.
Oh,
I
thank
cut it in
God.
half.
Oh man, what actual adventure in this city that the holy order doesn't fucking hog? My God, good for you, good for you. If it happened anywhere else, the holy order would be all over it, and you'd just be sitting there twiddling your thumbs, being bored.
I kind of wink at him and go, "Is that a real adventure in the city? We're 5 less." Just like
Don't push it. Don't push it, Lucky. Don't push it. Right, you're cute, but don't push it.
Just messing.
Yeah,
Alright.
cutie. Yeah, cutie.
Here's what. I'm gonna give you 5 gold for being a good sport, and I'm gonna give you another 40 for another try because this seems pretty fucking funny. And I really hope I pull something better than him just to rub it in his face.
Okay,
And-
so I'm gonna need you Bax, because you're going first, to take away the 20 gold and write down that you need to do some publicity in your school of whatever order you want. And the favor, yeah, he will tell you what the favor is after this pull, because he wants to keep the suspense going. Cool.
Get a
So
bend over in the alley.
Maneuver. Whoa.
give me a D100 roll, please.
Aye. Okay. Let me go with a D100. 54.
54. Ooh, interesting. You pull your hand in, and then again, it goes down by the elbow, and you wiggle around in there, and it's just emptiness until your hand stumbles upon like a smooth, elongated, sharp-looking thing. This feels like a claw. You're not sure, but you grab it, and as you pull it out, it is a big, yay big claw. And in the claw, it looks blackened and scorched, and there are some like pulsing red lettering on top of it. And Raiden looks at it and goes, "Oh shit! Never seen anyone pull that out before. Cool. Looks cool. What is it?"
It's weed.
I do not know.
And as you look at it, you flip it over, and it seems to be pulsing, but it's not doing much.
Does it have like a tag with like instructions?
No, you can feel the magic. This is weird.
On your balls.
You can feel the magic coming off of it. You can feel the magic coming off of it. Like just even as a wizard, you just handling magic, you can tell that this isn't like a prop. It is a proper magic, something magical, but you no idea what the fuck it does. But you have it now. Now write down Griffin's Claw, scorched by flame, into your inventory. Please. Just write a Griffin's Claw, letters, flame, whatever. It's not really an item. Just put it into your inventory until you identify it. Meanwhile, Ferverand, give me a...
I got the best number. I got 69.
Yay!
Let's go.
Boy!
If I don't pull out a gigantic dildo sword, I'm going to be disappointed.
Bro.
I want a shake weight in the form of a cock.
you put your hand in. You rummage around in there, and as you pull out, you grab something a little bit jagged but elongated, and you pull it out, and then as you look at it, it is a big yellow crystal with a cord wrapped around it, so you can wear it around your neck. But it's huge, and it's just shiny. It's pretty and shiny, and the yellowness is different from the potion that you had before, but it looks like a pretty gem, but it doesn't seem like a gemstone. Doesn't feel that magical.
Rain? Does it pull up the color in my eyes and like hold it around my neck?
It extremely clashes because your light are you what color are you? Light blue?
Yeah.
You're light blue wearing black with yellow. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
And
it's a horrible combination.
Raiden,
I'm openly acknowledging this.
Raiden looks at you and goes, I mean, I like you, so I'm going to be honest. I don't think it's exactly your colour, but I'm sure you can pull it off. But being charming, that could work.
So what you're saying is I should have it a little bit lower, kind of like a belt buckle?
Maybe, yeah, because but you can get away with a lot on the belt, I reckon. Not in the chest area, because of That's the word, complexion. There's a certain set of colours that you're not supposed to wear with certain complexions, and that's just your skin tone or whatever it's called. And they do, like, there's a whole job of, like, colour coordinator. So, yeah, I guess that's just not very much your colour. But on a belt loop, should be alright. So please write down a jagged shard of yellow crystal on a leather cord.
Okay.
And now you have 3 items you've just randomly pulled out. No idea what they do, but they do something.
Oh, someone.
You can either, well, that's the thing. You can either identify them, but in my world, the identify spell, either you go pay for it in the magic district somewhere, or you learn it. But apart from that, I'm the type of, like, if you want to do an Arcana check, I might give you, if you roll well enough, I might give you, like, a hint, because I'm just generous like that. But I'd never tell you exactly what it does. Just so you know, if you want to ever try it.
Around and finding out.
Okay, cool.
Did we ball?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I go about a cadaver, I cast fireballs on my nuts.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So, you guys come back. I think you came back what time? Around 7 p.m., right? Because you had to go up to the cathedral and come back from the cathedral. So while Sildana's still there, she'll be back at 9. You are back at 7. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I wanted to buy 2 more things. Good sir, as entertaining as this has been, I would like your most moderately looking coin pouch.
Oh yeah, we got that. And he goes back into, like, the lost and found room, where it's just random shit in there. It's just so much random shit. He pulls out a nice purse and goes on. Right, I mean, there's a fancy like shop, like, purse maker somewhere in there, but there's, like, designer brand. This is just a good old pouch. I mean, you can have it for, I don't know,
I'll give you a silver.
20 copper is fine. I mean, somebody forgot this. They're not coming back for it. It's been for...
I don't have anything lower than a silver. Here you go.
Alright, cool. Anything else? How can I help with my man?
I take it and go like, Do you have any loose nails?
Loose nails. Right. Let me look around. And he's gonna go back, and the barwitch comes back and says, "Where's you gone now? God."
He's looking for nails.
And she gives you the fuck kind of look, and she goes, fixes her breasts, which you can see are, like, padded underneath, because some of the padding squeezes out, and she's, like, putting it back in, and goes like,
"Oh no, fake news."
No.
She looks around and goes, "Right then, I swear, there's this rowdy group of people who keep asking for Ireland wenches. Can you pour them whatever you poured them before, so they can go away after they get drunk?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's just gonna be a minute." She goes, eye rolls and walks away. And let's see if he finds anything. Yeah, he comes out and he finds a bunch of nails with different levels of rust.
Yeah, it's fine.
And I'd say he has like a hand, like it's about 10 door nails, and he puts them down. It's like, the one in a crate somewhere. There's a lot of there's a lot of weird stuff in this building. I mean, sometimes people pass by and they, like, you know, they leave parts of their costume after they get drunk, and they make their costumes out of anything. And so I just shove it all up in the back room there. Yeah, I'm a bit of a hoarder, and as you look around, he's not a bit of a hoarder. He's an extreme hoarder, but at least he realizes the fact that he's a hoarder.
Now, for my next trick. I take the nails, put them in the coin purse, and I look for some, like, loose fucking pebbles and put those in, and I shake it around and go, "Sounds just like a normal coin purse, doesn't it?"
Oh, that's evil, yo. That's evil. I love her. What, are you gonna keep it then? If anybody pickpockets it, they're just gonna open it up as a bunch of pebbles.
You're catching on quick, my man.
I know. Listen, anytime you want to drink or chill, just come over. It'll be alright. We'll hang. Just you and me.
Fuck with some tourists. It's gonna be grand.
Oh yeah, no. Anytime we get to fuck with the tourists, it's fun. Now, you, the student. Yeah, I've got a favour. Need you to do for the discount. Yeah.
My name is Pax Obsidian.
Sure. He literally looks like he gives no fucks.
Fuck face until I say otherwise.
but I'm too proud to give a shit about that.
Of course. And as he looks over, he goes, ooh, boop, 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 boop. That's not what he goes. I always say this when I scroll somewhere. He pulls out. He pulls out like a weird looking pocket watch, and you've never seen a pocket watch before. It is made of gold and it's ticking, and you're staring at this weird piece of metal that's ticking, and you're like, what the heck is that? And he pulls it out and shows it to you and says, right, so I've got relatives back in Charmont. And apparently this is the new thing. They've designed this cool. They call them like watches, clocks. I mean, but it's not like a regular one where you can tell the time by the light or by the sun or by the position of the stars, or like, you know, by when it is. It's got these little like metal bits that go around metal bits that then push another metal bits, and it's all based on some sort of a pulley system. I mean, it's wonderful. It's the fact it's tiny. It's amazing. But anyway.
Can I look at the sundial on my wrist?
Yeah, you look at the sundial on your wrist. But it's mostly like the time is told by the bells. So all of the Empire cities, they toll the time through bells, and how they call the time, well, you don't fucking care. You tell what hour it is. And so he pulls it out and goes, right. So I've got this, and I wanted to give it to my good friend Akchar, but, you know, the blacksmith in the Six Boroughs. I mean, you'd know. He points at you back and says, you know, I've seen you around. Not here, though. You always avoid us like the plague. But I've seen you around, so you could give this to him. Yeah. He's been quite down lately.
I'm familiar with him.
Yeah, I just wanted to cheer him up a bit. He's been quite down. Yeah, it's a gift from a relative, and I thought he'd appreciate it considering he's a metal worker. I know he does like pots and pans these days, but, you know, back in the day, he was really into this like fine metal work. So he might get some inspiration from that, if anything.
Yes, I'll make sure you have it by the end of the day.
Fab. Right. Gotta go. Show them a great show, shan't I? And he like walks out with a cane, completely fake, and goes up to the group of tourists who kept asking for ale and wedges and goes, so have ye heard the tale? And they all get like excited. It's a bunch of like bros. It's literally a bunch of bros dressed up as like half wizards, half something else, and he continues to entertain them, and you hear like roarious laughter coming from the table. He's working like them tips.
As he's like walking away, I just softly like tell him as he's walking, I'm gonna give you a good exit. And as he's like at his table, I basically just get out, point towards the exit, holding like a map, and just say, "Onward, my steed! The treasure shall be ours!" And I like gesture for Brax to follow along. And then I just like fucking run out the door.
And he goes like, another satisfied adventurer on a quest. Would you lads like to participate? And they're here, oh yeah man, that'd be so great. It's like, oh my god, this big city life is so cool. And you know,
Bags kind of like gives a heavy like, okay.
Sigh.
Are you angry because I ran out on you, or because I called you a steed?
Both.
Okay, and before
because you kind of like calling me a steed makes me kind of like, oh, I have to do this as well.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys want to carry on, or you seem a bit tired today. I don't know. It's been a strange day. What do you feel like, group?
Me, I'm tired.
I mean, we could do a little bit more to sort of end the day here.
Yeah, just end the day.
Yeah, in case there's any banter going on, because I feel like that's a good time. So we start with a new day. New day, new life, new you.
Wanker.
You guys fuck about at the IIA for a good, I'd say, hour. And so you still got a bit of time to kill before Saldana gets there, but I assume you just wandered the city. At night, the city transforms. While it is a medieval town, the streets are extremely well lit because you see a bunch of students in these uniformed robes that they're like light green robes, and they run around and they cast light cantrips onto these like lampposts, and they just run around and touch the light, the little ball inside the lamppost and cast light, and there's a lot of them. And they're of all different ages. They look as young as 15 and as old as 40, and they're all walking through and doing this as a full-time job. The city is covered in light. You can see almost as good as during the day, and some lights have different colors, some lights have... So yeah, it is quite fascinating to observe the city at night. And obviously, you're in Southgate. The crowds get even worse, and now everybody is drunk. It's got a mood of a festival, even though no festival's going on, and you realize this is how it is every day here. This is busy. I assume, it's your first time being here, so I assume you walk around to look at the local food stalls. There's always food stalls even in the middle of the night, because drunk people, food. There's a bunch of pubs and bars going around, lots of people coming in and out. It seems to be everybody, there's no like skulking beggars, no rambunctious children trying to steal stuff. It's mostly just people enjoying their evening off work. And you have not seen a single argument breakdown in like a full hour you've been walking around the streets. Majority is somebody drunk tripped over and accidentally hit someone, and then both of them fell down, and then they both get up and pat each other off and go drinking. Like there's no outright hostility or aggression, which you're kind of used to. Like in Lesnagor, some areas they don't get rough, but they get more. If you're too fancy, people might like make fun of you, but you would never under a threat of physical violence, because of how tight the Holy Order holds the purse strings. So, truly, all is well in Lodenborough. Sildana, you make your way back, and you sort of weave your way down, asking a few people back at night to Southgate, where you're staying. And you wander back with sort of on your own. It's not that difficult. There's a lot of people heading down to Southgate from all over the city to party. So you just follow where the crowd goes, and you end up at Southgate. And I'd say, because the International Adventurers Inn is almost right at the junction between Light's Rest and Southgate, you bump into these two as they come out of the shop. You guys see Sildana. She's a little bit flushed and smells divine. She smells like she walked into a Yankee Candle and set fire to the shop.
It smells like hamsters and elderberries.
Basically.
Bruh.
It's amazing. No, literally, but it is extremely pungent. Like, you can smell her a few feet off.
I can smell you from a mile away.
Basically.
I can smell you.
So yeah, so Sildana, you notice Ferverand has like a crystal on his belt, and Max looks even more irritated than usual.
All in a day's work, baby.
I would just be
Of course.
wiping a bit of the sweat off my brow, just kind of like, how are you guys doing?
Splendidly.
Yeah, I'm
got
doing
myself
great.
on that.
You had fun.
Well, I would say yes. Can't speak much for Banks, but
Oh
I had
no,
a
it
lot-
was an absolute delight. What do you mean?
well, you seem to do a lot of sighing and groaning and rolling your eyes.
Couldn't be me.
No, of course. What am I saying? You're an upstanding citizen, a real clown in the party.
Yes, and I put like an emphasis, yes, because everything is well in Luttenborough.
Why does everyone keep saying that?
Is this going to be titled like the title of the show?
It is the title of the show.
No,
It's the name of
gonna
the
be
campaign.
All is well in Lodenborough, and then the episode name,
Wrong.
title of the show.
Oh, okay. Yes.
All's with Luttenborough. All's with Luttenborough. Just keeps it going repetitively. Anyway, when you ask that, when you say that, I'm like, well, let's just hope you don't find out. And then either way, I hope you've had a fantastic first day in the city here. I have a few things I need to get done here by the end of the day. Like meeting the good old blacksmith again.
Give him my regard.
Yes.
As mine.
Well, I do hope you two enjoy the city. As I'll be taking my leave now.
Alright.
Alright.
I head to the inn, and in my room, I study the shit out of that map.
Before you guys leave Southgate, I need all three of you to give me a wisdom saving throw, and Sildana do it with advantage.
Okay. Let's see here, wisdom saving throw. That's a, oh no, that's an 8.
8. Okay?
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
Damn.
Damn, girl.
Damn.
Okay. Matt?
Mine was a 17.
17.
Yeah, 17.
Okay.
Forgot to add my modifier.
Sildana. The two of you, nothing happens. Sildana, as you're walking back to the inn, and you can see Max walk away up to the Six Boroughs where he probably lives, you and Ferverand almost, not hand in hand, but sort of amicably next to each other walking back. And then you are trained in this. You're trained to notice things. You have this.
Did you notice my nuts?
You feel the hairs on the back of your neck stand, as if you're being watched. But you don't know. It's you turn around and it's a busy street. There's a ton of people. You know how you can get lost in a crowd where you're just walking around and there's so many people. You're invisible. So it's basically that feeling. But you feel you're being watched, but there's nobody outright just staring at you. But you're looking in the crowd, and it just feels odd.
Something strange, Ferverand?
Strange how, my dear?
I'm not sure how to describe it. Strange.
Well, that is an odd feeling of... What, feeling out of place?
How to describe it exactly? I'm just sort of looking around at this point. Can I do like a perception roll?
Ah, you
Sure.
feel exposed.
Go ahead.
Nat 1, never mind. I'm fucking blind.
So you rolled a nat 20 and then a nat 1.
Nothing.
Right.
I ain't seeing nothing.
I don't see jack shit. I'm blind.
You're looking around and there's just people. You're a farm girl, okay? You're used to people, but not this amount. This is a lot of people in a very tight street, and you're feeling like the walls close in on you, and you think that this whole idea of you being watched was just the fact that it's a very crowded square, and it's extremely intimidating for people who are not used to it.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's probably that. Most likely. Because you get shoved a few times by a few, like, strange people. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. Are you okay? And then the friend is like, the fight will be late. And they just drag him off. And, you know, you have a little bit of spillage of someone's
This
drink.
crowd is starting to kind of trigger me a little bit.
Actually, no. You've never really been in this situation. And it's not bad, but it's also not very pleasant. Like, you have no idea how to navigate out of here, because again, you've always been in open spaces and never in such a tight, sardine-packed, thin street. It's a skill for people who've never lived in a big town to then end up in a mosh pit and be like, oh shit, what do I do? Some people thrive, some people don't. You don't. So you're kind of more you're so distracted by the fact that you want to get out of this crowd, you completely forget about that feeling. You're like,
I guess so, yeah.
it's probably nothing. It's probably just me being weird. Okay. I will settle you down in the inn. So as you come back, Eris catches you and goes, hello, are you all right? You've just left abruptly, saying that the curse ended. I didn't get to chat to you. We're winding down for dinner now, but I wanted to ask you. You solved the problem, right? That thing in the thing is gone, right?
I'll repeat what the
Perhaps.
said, and I lean forward and in the exact same level of whisper go, X bag.
She
That's
goes,
what I was plaguing
oh
you.
goodness. Well, I feel. I mean, today has not finished yet, so I don't know if it'll be tomorrow. But if nothing comes alive tomorrow, I mean, you've saved me. I mean, you've already paid
Only
for rooms and board,
hopefully.
but if you wish to stay here for an extended period of time while you're in Edinburgh, I mean, I'm happy to cover it. Just the property damage alone would do it. I don't know how else to show my gratitude.
It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you so much. Goodness. Right. Well. I mean, we're winding down for dinner, but I can definitely get you a table if you'd want to eat something.
That works for me. I think that would be lovely.
famished.
You guys have fabulous dinner. Chef Montague comes out to you. He nods at you. He winks. He looks at you and says, goes like, I did that meat. You know, the one with the wine and the thing in the oven. Yes, serve you one? Okay, 1 second. And he brings over the recipe you were discussing last time. And it's a dish for two. So it's like a meal for two in a way. And so he gives you plates and you split it, and it's divine. It's fucking divine. Like, I don't know, you've eaten in some fancy places, but this is transcendent is what it is. Some of the most delicious meat you've ever had, and you're like, oh my god, the man can cook.
You really fucking soaked that at supersonic speed. Like, usually you leave it for a day and a half.
He comes up to you and says, you know, this is good when you know a good friend from Academy Magic. I was like, hey, I need to age this, but also not too much. And he tries to explain to you how he made a bunch of his friends, or a bunch of people who dine here, who he did favors for, who work out in the same muscle bar as he does. They basically came up, and he made the wizards make him a speed marinade. So it's like a marinade that seeps through much faster than a regular. Like you leave it overnight. This one, it's in the marinade itself that speeds it up. And he goes like, well, they think of patenting it or some shit, I don't know, but I use it for cooking, so there we go. Good for them, I guess. Glad you like. Okay, I go back now, and he points at a lot of the people who see this big bulky half orc come out as the locals are getting spooked, so I'll go back to kitchen. And he puts
a good girl.
Yeah, he puts a hand on your shoulder and goes like, you enjoy, my friend. You have food. It's on me all the time. You good man. And he looks at the lady and goes like, does an angry face, and she goes, and sits back, and he goes like, losers.
I go, my compliments to the chef as I raise my glass.
He does one of the most elegant bows you've seen, like a full. Like a stage bow, and then just swaggers back into the kitchen.
I love how well I'm vibing with every NPC here.
You are vibing the NPCs here, because it's what you do.
You've been vibe checking everybody here.
Yeah, I'd say you have one of the really pleasant dinner. Go back to rooms which have been stoked. You haven't requested baths, but baths have been provided and warmed. And so you can have a nice little rub down. And I know you don't have to say anything about rub downs. I've shot myself in the foot already.
The one time he wasn't going to. The one time he wasn't going to. Then
it was pretty obvious.
Slide,
You go and you have a really pleasant night's sleep. Meanwhile,
I have a good bath with my bubble buddy.
Yeah. To be fair, the shampoo can be used as a bubble maker as well in your bath. So once you're done with the bath, you literally just call one of the staff, and they the 3 people lift the bath up, move it to the outside, and then they deal with the spuds and whatever. So you don't have to flush anything. It's perfect for you. Just take a bath and go to sleep.
I just get out of the bath absolutely naked and go, servant, dry me down.
No, that's not the kind of service they provide. But they give you a really fluffy. They give you a really fluffy robe, really fluffy bathrobe. It's and there's nice slippers. And the hospitality service here is quite good. It's a good inn.
You
Baths.
know how they
Oh,
shine shoes with like a towel just going like back and forth?
Yeah.
That's just them like on my fucking face.
Good times. Good times.
No, they're all friendly towards you, because you guys have helped out their hostess, so, and their place of work. Now they're not gonna have to deal with animated furniture, so they're all quite friendly towards you guys, even though you're a little bit weird. But I'd say you two wind down for the day, and you can take a long
I'm
rest
the most normal. Come
and
on.
relax. Yeah.
I think you
Bats.
mean basic.
Oh, there.
As you're
Yes.
heading back, I assume you wanted to go talk to.
Well, favors has to be paid, so I would go to the blacksmith first and foremost. Also, if he hadn't delivered the pans, I could pick them up.
Yeah, it's mostly he told you to come at the end of the day and come pick up the pan because he would be done with it.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to face your mom. Nobody wants to face your mom. Your mom is scary.
And hideous.
Oh,
Oi!
bro.
Whoa!
okay, your mama
Do not
took
insult
you
his
right
mother.
Whoa, bro.
Hold your horses. And
insult the obsidian bloodline?
yeah,
Heathen.
as you're heading back in the middle of the night in a city that you've been born and lived with most of it, the city you've lived with, the city you've lived in most of your life, we're gonna end the session and continue from this point on because it is getting quite late. I got early work tomorrow and I am really tired. This is the problem of working full time. No energy. Cool. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a little bit more roleplay heavy because, we had combat first session, then we need a lot of aftermath.
I mean, I'm okay with not dying. So.
If you want me to bully Mats more, just leave a comment that says please bully Mats more, and I will
Indeed.
immediately get on it.
Indeed. To remind
Do
everybody
not
else.
take this into account. Do not. Please do not.
I am not joking.
To remind everybody else, there is the VODs of this are going to be on Twitch, I think, for a while, and then the YouTube VODs will come up on Sunday. Feel free to fill out the magic item form in case we're gonna get them even more crazy shit that they don't that they can pull out of that black box. Perfect. You create a mysterious black box in a very kooky shop, and there you go. You can have any item you want. No need to give plausible deniability as to where it came from.
Good times.
Mystery box.
Indeed, good times. All right. Well, that is it from us at Esthara Chronicles, and we'll see you next week for the next show. I believe.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye, Felicia.